I do want you next to me. Want you next to me, but does this work? 'Cause I know I can't get to you. I like the chase, and I know you do too. Am I just in love with the idea of you? 'Cause I'd cross a million seas. Would you do that for me? Yeah, I'd fly this whole world twice if I could be your paradise. Close your eyes, will you dream for me? Some paradise. Tell me who you see, 'cause I think I know what you mean to me. What you mean to me, but does this work? Only 'cause we never say what we think. Waiting for the perfect way. Time zone speak. Got me on delay. 'Cause across a million seas. Would you do that for me? Fly the goddamn world 3 times, and I'd run all the red lights across a million seas just to have you next to me. Paris and Tokyo, I'll go where I have to go. Screw geography, but would you do that for me?
Hello, oh my gosh, I hope you guys can all hear me. So today we have the final Guild Wars for this month, at least. I'm going to take a break from organizing these after this final Guild Wars Today I have with me the casters, the lovely casters, the Pirate King and 360 No Scope. These two together are like magic. They're so amazing. Also, the teams, the guilds that are playing today are Promise Defiance. They have been top for 2 weeks straight now. So what I'm wondering if are they gonna clean up tonight as well? So we have Promise Defiance versus the Bar Oyster Club. How are you guys feeling? Are you looking forward to seeing who's going to win? Let's go ahead and introduce the casters. Hold on, let me unmute my Discord. Hello, casters. How are you guys?
Hey, Krista. I'm doing pretty good. I'm sitting here with my homie in the back seat, and the Pirate King, and we're ready to get the King of the Hill started. So how you doing, Pirate?
I'm doing great, thank you, Tree, and I'm really looking forward to finally casting some Guild Wars action. We've got a really good lineup today as well. We're starting off with Promise Defiance against Blue Oyster Bar, winner of which will, of course, then be facing Inferno Geldio, followed by Valkyrie, and then finally finishing off with almost the ultimate test with Dream of Noobs as the final game. So I'm really excited to be getting right into these matches.
Yeah, no, that'll be quite fun. And honestly, Promise Defiance, they're looking spicy right now. So they successfully ran the gauntlet last week, and basically beat everyone. And now, they're running into teams that really they've beaten before. They've beaten Blue Oyster Bar. They've beaten Valkyrie. I think from a team perspective, they're better than Dream of Noobs. I have no idea about Inferno Gildio, but I mean, we'll see. They very well could just take it all the way.
Yeah, I definitely think they could do, and we're going to be looking for some. What have you actually seen from them? Like in terms of, are there any particular power picks you expect them to be picking up?
Well, so the thing with Promise Defiance is that they're just better on rotations. I haven't really picked out like any specific heroes because they tend to play most everything. It's not like they're stuck in on only playing like a Vox or anything like that. They will switch up their team compositions, but for the most part, they play meta heroes. But it's mainly just that they out-rotate their opponents, that they have better macro. And even though they may lose that early game, they have a better understanding of the objectives that they need to go after than pretty much any other team I've seen in EU 5v5.
Oh yeah, that's. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of this great macro action. Then I'm particularly going to be personally. I'm particularly looking forward to see what the teams do in the early game jungle, because we've seen some early invades. For example, there were these 5v5 show matches between SK Gaming and Clash earlier today, in which both teams did go for these early invades. Both teams going for a 5-man towards the enemy's weapon buff, picking up that, then rotating back through their own jungle. Interestingly, both teams were giving both buffs, weapon power and crystal power, to their jungler. I'm interested to see if these tactics are going to be followed by the guilds we've got playing today, or if they're going to go and shake it up and try something a little bit different. So finally, the team compositions come through. Over on the side of Blue Oyster Bar, we've got an Arden, a Vox, a Glaive, an Idris, and a Reza. And then over on the side of Promise Defiance, we've got that Scarf, probably going to be going towards the mid lane there. And you've got a Rona, Lyra, Vox, and also a Gwen. Actually, maybe a Scarf's going towards the jungle.
Yeah, no,
given the rest of the composition.
I do have to say, personally, I favor Blue Oyster Bar's composition just a little bit more. I mean, obviously, Mr. Nice Guy, especially if he's camping that mid lane, can shut down any potential glaive ganks. But I just feel like overall, especially if this Idris goes Crystal, which it looks like he is, I think personally Blue Oyster Bar has the better comp. That's just me.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there, and I do like some of what Promise Defiance are doing, but whoever they put in this jungle, I disagree with them putting there. It's as simple as that. They've got a composition of 4 laners and a roam here, and that's just not viable in my opinion. So we do see a little bit of trading as both teams are sort of feeling the water early on, but I don't think we're not seeing anything massively aggressive, and that's largely what you'd expect with the compositions they've got. No one's got anything with which they're going to have a massive early game advantage here.
Well, see, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I expected Blue Oyster Bar to try and make some sort of a fight and basically use the fact that they have a glaive and really like melee carries, other than of course Rona for the side of Promise Defiance, and just kind of abuse that fact. But I guess they're just gonna play it passively. It's not a bad decision because I think overall, you should win this laning phase if you are Blue Oyster Bar. I did talk a little bit about the macro of Promise Defiance and how they can pull out their wins, and I think that's really how they're gonna win it. Is once they get out of like the laning phase and into more team fighting, that's where their composition is going to start to shine. They can prevent people from diving on their backline by having their Lyra there. They can have somewhat of a front line because
Oh, the
Warner is
gank.
just so tanky.
Lovely
Oh,
gank.
yeah, that is.
Lovely
That is
gank in the bot lane. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
no,
that's Glaive all over for you. Even if they don't necessarily pick up the kill here, which they're not going to on time stab, bit of a shame. He's forced to recall. That's just the ultimate power of the Glaive. But
Oh.
we do see Reza going down to homegrown. Really good use of this Rona pick in the early game. And now you've got a really weak lane matchup up here in top lane for Blue Oyster Bar, though. Galactus on this Gwen is going to be able to bully Grostaji, God, I don't know. The Reza, very, very hard here. And you've also got a big bully in the mid lane as well. Scarf is very strong into melee laners. They just have no way to get out of his goop. And that's going to allow them to dominate this laning phase in 2 lanes. So even though, yes, you do have glaive ganks coming through, which are incredibly influential and effective, you've got bullies in 2 of the lanes, and that could cause you some real problems as Glaive roams up to the mid lane.
Yeah, no, this Glaive just needs an afterburn, and I think he's got Mr. Nice Guy. He just needs to do it. He doesn't want to commit. Here comes Homegrown. Homegrown just going to take out this Arden with a couple more base attacks. There it is. Now ADX, he's kind of in trouble. Same thing with this Rona. Holy crap, look at that damage. That's just too good. Afterburn onto Scarf. But he pops a potion and just kites towards the left. ADX is going for the chase kill onto Mr. Nice Guy. I'm not sure that he really can bake this because Mr. Nice Guy.
Yes.
What? How did he do that? That's got to be some.
He just managed to get within basic attack range there. It was really close thing, right on the edge of his range. But now that gank was critical because that's relieved all of this pressure which has built up in the mid lane. Because Modre on this Idris was under massive pressure there. But this is the strength of Glaive. 1 gank, and he takes from that. They took 2 kills and relieved all the pressure and put Modre on the front foot. Glaive is just such an amazing jungle pick, and I don't think Homegrown is going to be able to have that same effect on the Rona, simply due to the fact it's so much harder to secure kills on these ganks.
Well, if you also think about it, who on the side of Blue Oyster Bar is immobile, right? Like everyone has some sort of movement abilities. I mean, I would argue that probably Idris is your least mobile hero. Maybe
Yeah,
Arden.
definitely. Yeah, I would say it's probably Idris in the early game. But the thing is, the moment he unlocks his CP path, suddenly he's using Nightmare to gank. If he hits level 6, he's even harder. So you're not in a really good position with how you can execute your jungle pressure here for the side of Promise
Well,
Defiance.
talking about executions, we got Reza up in the top lane, just barely able to get out. Homegrown, does he have another jump? No, he's got another 8 seconds on that. He and Galactus are just going to try and chase him around, but like ganks like that need to succeed. Here's another gank that wants to succeed in the mid lane. Mr. Nice Guy is so low. Same thing with Andre. Of course, we did see Scarf go back, so that is kind of a win for Promise Defiance if you can get your Scarf back with minimal damage and put Madre on like 2 health. Coming back, here comes Homegrown for the gank. He just needs to come into the fray. Madre's taking tons of damage, 200 with a single swing of the axe, and Gatrex should go down to Homegrown. Homegrown gets stunned out, and that afterburn should be able to secure this kill onto Homegrown, so there you go. Mr. Nice Guy is also very low, and the afterburn isn't going to be up for another while.
Oh, he's going to get it.
Yeah. ADX, you're in trouble.
He's not going to get Mr. Nice Guy here. And he's going to be burned down by that Scarf.
Yeah, he overstayed.
He overstayed his welcome a little bit there. He thought going back in for that CP buff, deny it from this Scarf, preventing that bullying would have been the right call. In the end, he does trade his life for it and gives the CP buff anyway, so definitely not the right move. An interesting matchup we have got here is you've got a weapon power Vox on the side of Blue Oyster Bar going into the CP Vox of Imstab, which in itself is a very interesting matchup because as we see here, Novan is able to trade quite effectively when there are no minions. But when there are minions, there's a definite trade advantage, but Homegrown's here now.
Well, you got a better trade advantage when you have a Rona, but there's just no CC. That's the problem with this Rona pick is that it's not a glaive. You don't have that CC. Rona just ran out the Vox, and Novan, being as mobile as he is, was able to just just walk away. And on the other side, you look at ADX, he's able to secure his kill for Reza.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we keep harping on this Rona pick, but like, That's the
It's
problem
not a
right
jungler.
there.
It's not a jungler. That's the thing. Rona in 5v5 is such a great lane pick because you can just build that Sorrow Blade and then Monocle build and do insane damage, delete turrets, and split push to hell. She does pick up a kill there, but that's simply due to the fact that Novan was massively overextended. There was no need for him to go walking towards that shop. He could have just ported back. Meanwhile, we see on the other side, Mr. Nice Guy picking up that fountain first due to the fact there's not really any major CC ability which needs blocking over on the side, but now actually maybe a gank up in the top lane.
Yeah, no, that was kind of a wasted skedaddle. Galactus needs another skedaddle, but he doesn't have it. Holy cow, my words are just
Yeah.
as non-existent as the Gwen right now.
I like what Homegrown's doing here. He tried to steal away that gold trade, and unfortunately he didn't get it and traded his life for it. In the end, not worth it. Oh, odd.
Yeah, oh, this is huge. This is really close. This scarf on the Reds or on Promise Defiance is just so close to taking out a couple of members, and there's just nothing he can do there. The poke was just so good, but Arden, he gets the body block, I'm looking to watch this mid lane get
Glaive's
cracked
at the
open.
bot
I'm
right
also
now.
looking to watch this glaive get cracked open. Scaff taking him down to about half his health to come over with basic attacks. He has a potion to keep himself somewhat healthy, but Novan, I don't think he can finish this off. I think that was really a win trade by a stab. So now we're back in the mid lane. And, Blue Oyster Bar, they're continuing their 3-man push, sieging. All in the meanwhile, oh, okay, that's brutal. Stab winning that bot lane matchup. And you have Gwen pushing the top side for free. So she's pretty much going to get this turret. As you see the rotation up from 2 more members from Promise Defiance. I really like how Promise Defiance is playing this now.
Yeah, they're playing it, and this macro play which you talked about is coming into play. Oh dear, Ad didn't realize he could be seen in that bush. Almost gets taken out. Picked up a weapon infusion. Is he gonna look for a kill onto I'm Stab? This is very risky. He's going for it. He takes it.
That was so clean. I don't think that he expected Adex to be there. Like as
I think
as
he,
any
he
sort of box.
Yeah, Stab did definitely not expect Adex to be there though. But we do see this pressure coming through onto Grosson on this Reza up in the top lane, and it finally tells first turret and first 2 turrets going on over to Promise Defiance, showing their rotational play, as you said, to be very strong. And now,
Yeah, by the way,
Scarf-
Novan's in trouble. Novan's in a lot of trouble. Okay, never mind. He's still playing Rona into the fray, just doesn't cut it. Now, look really hard for Promise Defiance to be pushing this bot lane. They want to get this 3rd turret. They want to try and just break it open. They also need to defend themselves from this mid lane turret. Kagero is just like basically 1 shot away from dying, and somehow he survives. So 2 kills, as you said, going over to Promise Defiance. And the bottom lane turret. So basically everything going the way now of Promise Defiance. They're starting to build up a gold lead. They're at about 4K right now over Blue Oyster Bar. So I really do like how Promise Defiance has pulled this back. As I say that, ADX gets killed.
Yeah, ADX does pick up a kill there, so that's just going to be a turret trade, I presume, going on over in the bot lane. But again, they've cracked this egg open, Promise Defiance. They've cracked was this glaive doing a lot of work in the early game, and it's still doing a lot of work now. They might not even get this turret as Scarf's here.
Yeah, no, it's Homegrown. Holy crap, this is where the Rona's effect is when she has that speed boost, when she can just run out like half health Voxes. That's just the dream. ADX wants to get out of this. There's no way you want to fight this. Just back off, man. Just back off.
He doesn't have a turret to defend there either. There's a Scarf and a Rona. There's no need for him to fight.
You're so dead. Great Spitfire
Sniped.
from Kagura. So now again, it's just so clean. What are you looking for Blue Oyster Bar to do to try and get themselves kind of in a better spot than they are now?
It's really hard to know because if you do, the problem is you've got a late game scaling composition coming out from the side of Promise Defiance, and now they're getting mid game leads. This could be disastrous if they're looking for a fight, but they're grouped up for CP Vox.
All right, and so Novan, he's getting dove by this sad little Rona because she cannot find that Vox. Gauntlet comes down, and that should prevent most major aggression onto the Vox. But oh no, she can still take out Arden. Here comes Glaive. He has the afterburn onto I'm Stab. I'm Stab has mortal wounds. He's just trying to kite away, use his basic attacks. Those are empowered by a great alternating current. But again, it's just so good. You take 2 members. It takes 3 members to try and stop your little push. You can't even defend the mid lane, and now you're in a position where Glaive just has to walk away because he can't deal with 2 heroes. You just have to find 1v1s. Grostad, that's the best thing that you could have done, and really your only hope is get those kind of individual picks right now and hope to snowball those into a team fight. That's what I think.
Yeah, and exactly. You've got other issues such as this Rona is an amazing split push. You've got great split pushing, got amazing objective take with heroes like this Scarf. Talking of Scarf, he's under a bit of pressure now as Adex looks to come in.
Oh, yeah. Adex he thought about it, and then the Spitfire landed, and then he just decided, you know what? Yeah, let's not deal with this. Let's just walk away.
Yeah. And that's a really sad situation because that's ideal Glaive territory there. Kill one with your Afterburn, get the other with your Twisted Stroke there. That's what you'd think, but no, he's not close enough to this Scarf in gold to be able to pull off that kill, and that's just so disappointing from his perspective. Modre looking for a turret in the mid lane, but Scarf is here and Gwen's rotating in.
Yeah, so this is going to be a 4 versus 2. There's no way at all that the Blue Oyster Bar wins this out. Homegrown diving in straight into the fray. He's taking some shots onto this Arden once again. Now Homegrown, he is turret diving. Oh, Ace's high snipe was great from Gwen. All right, ADX, you gotta get out of here. You can't really help anyone. Modric could find a free kill onto this Rona, depending on how he plays it. Just one more great Crucible, but I don't think it's gonna help you. Oh, the Afterburn will. The Afterburn will definitely help you. Now, Mr. Nice Guy hoping to get that Imperial Sigil to help Homegrown just turn this fight around. Now the Katie's just gonna walk through the teleport to get away. And all the meanwhile, Reza was 1v1ing up in the top lane, so he did manage to take out Gwen and the top lane turret. So things aren't actually all bad. I really like that, but okay. All right. Yeah, that is a dead Vox. So yeah, I mean, I think though that was a beneficial trade for Blue Oyster Bar.
Yeah, well, Gross is doing some really good things here because the problem is if they send anyone who is ranged to deal with him, they will lose that trade. If they send anyone basically who isn't Rona to deal with this Reza pushing in the top lane, that Reza will just push top lane all the way to the base. He doesn't have the quickest wave clear, but he wins 1v1s against ranged carries.
Over the wall. Who's gonna go for it?
Oh, he's got it!
Afterburn over the wall. That was a great afterburn by ADX. He could actually turn this fight around. He has some damage. Here comes Grosta. He's on the Reza, and he can't just burst people down. He's in the middle of 3. He's going to go into his nether form. Now Madre is being chased by Galactus. I don't think this is a fight that Blue Oyster Bar can even win anymore, but that was still such a great steal. I still don't know if it's worth it anymore, though, because Blue Oyster Bar, they should be able to get away with relatively healthy members. GatorX will die to the buckshot from Gwen, but now it's a 2 versus 5, and I'm not sure that. Yeah, no, stop fighting. Back off. You're gonna lose your turn. Still stuck on that. No, you gotta get away from this. Why?
Often. Oh, he needed to preserve that Ghost Wing buff on himself. All right, they're going to take it through a few turrets, but if they got that Ghost Wing buff there, I honestly think they could have ended this game here, Promise Defiance, or at least pushed on and taken an armory. By stopping them taking that, you definitely stopped a major push in there. You didn't need to trade as many lives for it, though. Novan definitely didn't need to go down, and keeping a Ghost Wing buff on 2 carries is still incredibly effective because it reduces a lot of damage. Adex now, he's got his double spell sword and he needs to just tank up because he's not staying alive long enough.
Alright, so Mr. Nice Guy, he's being dove real hard. The Reza was just able to put some damage in on early. Now GatorX, he has no health and he is the Gwen, so it's not like he needs a ton, but he still needs something. This is a potential time for Blue Oyster Bar to start setting up for a Blackwing, but they're actually just going to go for this fight. I am stabbed, just great engagement. The wait for it was perfect, and now there are 2 members right here of Blue Oyster Bar who are very low. First is the Arden to go down. ADX turns around, gets that return kill, so now Homegrown, he has to be wary of Novan. Madre is in a fight with this Scarf, and it's not really fight as much as it is a massacre. That is the scary little Scarf for you. Now Homegrown, he's looking for Madre as well as the Glaive. ADX just needs to get out of here. Reza, you're in trouble, buddy. There's not much you can do, but I think
Reza will be fine here. He's got a really good mobility, and he may even be able to take a trade onto Homegrown.
Yeah, no, he took the trade. He took the kill, and now he can get out of this relatively cleanly. Depending on how Scarf plays this could actually go in favor of Blue Oyster Bar. But now I'm looking, if I'm Blue Oyster Bar, you either have to set up a team fight around this Black Claw that you have a couple of seconds to deal with, or you just want to go for that straight up team fight. Oh, Ace's High was perfect. That was a 3 versus 4 engagement, and you just don't have the damage, especially when you're dealing with the CC of a Gwen. Here comes GatorX. He's forced to gauntlet, hits 1, but he's gonna walk away. relatively safely, while Promise Defiance just going to push straight down this mid lane and probably take a turret, maybe even an armory.
Yeah, they're going to look for definitely a turret in this mid lane, or maybe just turn back on to take a Blythe Blackclaw or Ghostwing. Meanwhile, top turret is very, very low, at least one hit from being taken down, and it looks like they're going to try and take this armory turret instead, easily burned away by this Scarf. Maybe they'll look for an engagement, but I don't think Blue Oyster Bar will bite. Rona's now just going to start up the Ghostwing. Really good macro play once again from Promise Defiance, as they've got a 10 kill lead, which only equates to a 4k gold lead, but they definitely feel in control of this game.
Yeah, they definitely feel in control of this game. I do feel that they could also be in control of this Ghostwing. You need another crazy steal. No, it's not going to happen. I thought Reza could have gone for it. So now the Ghostwing buff is there. Promise Defiance. They're going to take this fight. Glaive just goes straight in. Idris on the backline onto I Am Stab. Hero was killed. Not sure who. That's going to be Glaive going down first. I Am Stab in the backline. Now he finally goes down, but the rest of the members of Blue Oyster Bar are melting. Just so good. Double kill for Gwen. Now, Galactic is going to be happy with that one. Now, Reza, all his friends are dead. Not much you can do. Oh, okay. All right. You can do something, Madre. You're going to get a return to kill onto Lyra. That's about the extent of the damage for Blue Oyster Bar. They got 2 kills in return for 4 of their members. So 2 for 1. I guess 4 for 2. You know, fractions. You can divide it. This should be an armory for Promise Defiance. And I'm just looking at how good they've been this game.
Yeah, they've been looking really good, although maybe Adex is coming. I don't think he can save the armory, but maybe they can do something onto this Scarf and get an advantage for a Blacklaw take.
Oh, they definitely can. Kagura will go down, and now Galactus, he just tries to get out of this. Gauntlet is perfect. There's no reflex blocks here. This Skedaddle allows Gwen to just fight out of this. Maybe he can pick a Ghost Stack with a Buckshot. No, not even close. Or, well, I mean, 1 health is pretty close. So, 2 picks there. Promise Defiance, they can't really fight anything. I do like this Black Claw take, and as you said, they're just going to start plopping down mines. Make sure you get vision in the back of the pit as well, so that no one can just jump over the wall. But
the major issue with them taking this Blacklaw, though, is their siege is incredibly poor. If you're looking at their composition, they've got reasonable split push in it, but they're just going to have a nightmare sieging against this Scarf and this CP Vox in particular. Then you can also have Rona jumping out, plus the fact that mid lane minions are buffed up. They've cleared out both the pushed waves. Looks like they're going to maybe look for something on top. But the problem with grouping around this, although Madre's caught.
Yeah, Madre's caught. He needs some help from his Arden. He's going to just, great ultimate from the Idris, keep himself safe inside of the Rona. You know what? You can't attack me if I'm you. So Black Claw now officially pushing down this mid lane. It's going down incredibly quickly. That's just the power of the composition. Now, Wait For It is perfect, but just the damage just too high. Look at this Crystal Vox. He's able to burst down targets, and he's bursting down the entirety of Blue Oyster Bar. This Black Claw's not going to get much, just more damage onto the mid lane turret if they're lucky, the turret kill. Not even that. So now Blue Oyster Bar, they basically got the fight that they wanted. They got the picks that they wanted. They got Black Claw, and they started pushing down that lane, but they get nothing out of it. The best thing that they can hope for now is ADX just maybe, like, he's going to 1v1 versus Scarf. Does he even know that? He doesn't even know that. So they might not even get this turret.
I think a minion's surely got to land a couple of auto attacks onto that, as it does eventually go down. So they get 1 turret out of that, but critically they stop Promise Defiance ending, and that's been the main issue. Thing is now, though, Ghostwing is up, and that was a very easy take and very quick secure for the side of Promise Defiance, and there's not really a lot Blue Oyster Bar can do apart from hope for a miracle steal and then hope for an amazing team fight, but they're not even going to get there.
Yeah, they don't even read this at all. Garrick is the only one there, and he's just going to run and realize, oh, wait, yeah, no, all 5 members are at the Ghostwing. Let's just back off. So now, as you said, the Ghostwing is such a powerful buff. I'm curious to see how the side of Promise Defiance play this. Do they want to just try and just straight up push down mid?
I think they should just push up mid, because they've got the armory buff, or lack of armory buff minions there, which gives them that advantage. Plus the fact they have a great buff and they have a brilliant siege composition with which they can decide if they go for a 5v5 team fight without taking any sort of pick first, they're going to struggle to win, and they're going for it.
All right, Homegrown just going straight in. Just look at the damage from the Vox already. Arden is just so low. Now the fight could be turned around. That was a great gauntlet. This could actually be that game-winning gauntlet. This is just great. All of a sudden, Blue Oyster Bar, they're turning around. They have so many low members, but this is just huge. Holy crap, that was just so insane. Oh my god, Garrick, you're a god. Now, Galactic, he
Oh.
can't turn this around, but ADX is there. He's going to secure this, hopefully, with that afterburn. That was an amazing fight, an amazing engagement by Blue Oyster Bar. I have no idea how the hell they managed to do it, but look at the death timers. This could be trouble. They can just push down this mid lane, get a turret, potentially an army. There's no way that they get the Vein Crystal, but like
It's risky.
it could be close.
It's very risky play to make simply because your CP Idris is not there, doesn't have incredible damage anyway. This glaive definitely doesn't have enough damage to do enough to this turret without the CP Idris there. They're going to get this one turret, but again, the critical thing is they've stopped Promise Defiance ending, and what a gauntlet that was. That triple stun was completely critical. Knocked Scarf out of his ultimate before he was ready to finish it as well, which also just stopped that massive damage going down, but you stunned up the CP Vox. That was critical because he's the one who's been destroying your team. Oh dear, the Bulwark! Adex is caught.
Yeah, Adex, you're in trouble, buddy. You're going to go down. You're going to have a 44-second death timer. And that is probably the most impactful pick that could have happened.
Yeah.
For Promise Defiance. ADX has been the one, to me, that's really been hard carrying these fights. Obviously, you had a great gauntlet from Garrick, but I think that just great defense was all in vain, unless you can get a miracle steal. But this Black Claw is going down so fast that
It's not gonna
you're not Flash X, buddy. You're not gonna be able to do it. Not at all. Yeah, no, you're getting turned around, and now you're in trouble. The Wait for It is there to silence a couple of members of Promise Defiance, but you're not a CP Vox either, Novid. You're just not enough. I think this is the story of the game. The Blue Oyster Bar, they just got so close. There's so many things they could do. Madre actually is in a position now that if he could get Homegrown taken down, he could actually turn this fight. Holy crap, there's the double kill from Vox. What the? How? Who the? What? Okay.
They've got this
Right,
Black Claw going onto their base, and they need to keep this CP Idris alive if they want to kill it. But also, they need to take out this Scarf, because this Scarf could just decimate the Vein Crystal if he could get onto it. Novan looks like he might go for a trade, and the Gauntlet comes out. Great
That was
stun!
perfect. Yeah, that was a great stun. The Ghosting, though, has officially already suicidal. The Black Claw is just now pushing this turret. It hasn't
They're
really
not gonna
brought the
end.
Vein Crystal very low, so Blue Oyster Bar, I have no idea how they keep doing it. You can't keep getting away with it.
Yeah, you can't keep getting away with it, but they do pick up a turret in the bot lane as well. So that's actually getting closer to evening up this turret score. And at least the advantage score, of course, all three armories are still intact, and that's ultimately what matters. This massive wave in the bot lane is not going to be able to pick up anymore. A Ghost Wing is available and open with nobody able in the immediate vicinity to contest, but they're not going to be going for it straight away. Although, actually, maybe you do see Adex starting this up. I think this has been read by Promise Defiance, so they're making their way straight there.
Yeah,
Now
they're making
looking
their way
for the
straight there,
T5.
but they're kind of funneling. I mean, Blue Oyster Bar, I think they took this kind of as a bait. They want to take this fight. You have to be careful, though, because Adex, if he's taken too low by the Ghosting by himself, this could be trouble. Fight goes on. Madre's taking down Homegrown. Homegrown now officially stunned into the wall. Oh, all right, I Am Stab is just so low, and look at the members of Blue Oyster Bar. They're just so healthy, all things considered. This is just so great. Blue Oyster Bar, they're turning this around. I can't believe it. They can actually do it. There it is. There's a double kill. Win gets one, but I think that's it. This is Blue Oyster Bar. They could just win this right here. This has probably been one of the best games of 5v5 I've seen in my entire goddamn life. Now,
No,
Blue
why are
Oyster
you
Bar,
turning back?
what are you doing?
They've
Go
got
in.
a humongous wave in top lane. They just need to go to top lane. Adex has noticed it. They just need to go to top lane, push it up. Right, you've got the
You need to
army
go
exposed
somewhere.
here.
Literally anywhere. You can
Yeah,
go
make
bottom
a
lane.
decision.
You could go mid lane.
Just make a decision, push for the win. You've got the man advantage. You've got the Vein Crystal exposed. Now Adex is getting this wave onto it.
What are
You
they
can
doing?
make a decision, end the game. Right, you've got the minion wave now. You've got Adex. Galactus is not going to have any support for another 5 seconds. End.
What?
Oh,
What the?
that should have been game. They've
What?
taken 2 armories, and that gives them an advantage. But I don't know if they can keep winning these team fights. It's been reliant on very certain conditions, and that condition is Star not being in the right position at the start of the fight. If Star gets his positioning right, and we've already seen it, he can absolutely delete the side of Blue Oyster Bar without any contest coming out, simply because if they group and the CP Vox lands a good silence, they're all dead. Modre's been doing really well in the most recent fights to kite back Homegrown and put out a lot of damage, but if he gets taken out by a good CP Idris silence, not in CP Idris silence, gets taken out by a good CP Vox silence before the fight begins, it could be fight over, as both teams are now grouping round this mid lane, and I think we could see what has got to be the decisive fight,
Yeah,
surely,
this has
by
gotta
this
be it.
point.
Now, Blue Oyster Bar poking and prodding with Adex. I really want to see just the Scarf right now just try to get something, start to soften up the health bars of Blue Oyster Bar. Oh, this could be the engagement. Gauntlet goes down, traps all 5 members. Everyone's in. That was just a great Crucible and the reflex blocks. Blue Oyster Bar, they're getting turned on now as there is a just
Second
deletion
gauntlet.
of the Rona. Now, there's a second
The
gauntlet that
stuns,
was just
the
so
stuns.
impactful. They're going back onto the backline. Arden gets a kill onto Box. This should finally
game.
be it. Blue Oyster Bar, you gotta push it. You gotta do it, buddy. Oh,
This
great.
Gwen
bulwark.
damage.
This Gwen, yeah, exactly. You just said
It's
it. You
Gwen
took the
damage.
words right out of his mouth. Holy crap!
He
This is
turned it.
just so insane. Galactus, you can go for this. You have so many high health members. Galactus, you
Oh
can
my gosh, you got
deleted.
deleted.
That's
Reza.
gotta be it. Okay, that's gotta be it. Okay, tell me it's over. It's over, right? Right?
Look,
Right,
you've
Reza,
just got this
Reza,
nice man
right?
left alive.
Ace,
He goes
okay.
down, and that's an ace, and that's going to be game to Blue Oyster Bar. Insane final fight, though. It thought the first gauntlet came out. It was crucibled brilliantly by Mr. Nice Guy. Everyone exited, clean exit. Really well done by Promise Defiance. Now it looks like they're in the right situation. But then the Rona has been taken low. She couldn't get out of that. She didn't coordinate right with her team there. And then they turn on her, take her down, and then the second gauntlet comes. They can't leave that second gauntlet, but they need to. So they have to take the stuns to try and exit it. And that's what kills them in the end, as Ard comes in with another afterburn again and again and again with this triple spell sword glaive. He was putting in amazing work with that. And if I wanted to pin it on one thing, well, actually, no, you can't pin it on one thing this game. It was such an epic match. But the two key things which won this game for Blue Oyster Bar were Adex's glaive and also these incredible gauntlets coming through from Garanx. That was absolutely incredible play, especially with the second gauntlet to land those stunts. And if that didn't happen, they wouldn't have won. I thought maybe Galactics could turn it. I would have been amazed if he did turn it. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite to be as he overstepped, didn't quite respect the Reza damage. But in the end, what a match.
All right, so I think we can officially say that is in the top 10 anime comebacks. So the Blue Oyster Bar will continue to push on, and I'm surprised. Promise Defiance, they're out to the first contestant. That to me is just so insane. Like they just look so good, and I mean honestly, Promise Defiance, you can't really pin it onto any one thing other than the fact that like they didn't really play against the Arden well in the way like once they finally got reflex blocks for the gauntlet, Arden had another gauntlet.
Yeah, I know. And if there were a few moments, that Ghost Wing steal was very impactful because they had that really strong mid-game spike which they were looking to utilize, and they couldn't unfortunately utilize it because of the Ghost Wing steal. Another issue is they only had one melee carry, which was this Rona, and that meant she was getting isolated in team fights and then focused down by the side of Blue Oyster Bar because they could all collapse onto her because there was no one near her. And one Lyra sigil underneath her isn't enough to keep her alive from the damage of 5 people plus mortal wounds. And that meant that they didn't have the necessary tank to stand up to what was being thrown at them in some of these later game fights. But it was such a back and forth game, and Promise Defiance really showed that macro play which you mentioned beforehand, especially in that mid game. Their rotations around, despite not having the glaive for those amazing ganks, they were still making good rotations and taking good objectives there. And they just needed to have that Black Claw push just executed a bit better. They started going for a fight straight after. They didn't need to. That was Blue Oyster Bar forcing something and they fell for it. If they didn't go for that fight and just set up for a siege, they had an amazing siege composition. And if it was a 5v5 situation and they got to the base, I don't see any way in which they could have been stopped from ending there. But it was an amazing match of Vainglory, and I'm looking forward to see if anything we can see next can live up to that hype. As now coming in, we have Inferno Geldio is going to be a range of players, including Rayo, who personally is one of the best players I've seen play. He's definitely one of the best players from the Spanish community, and especially in jungle positions. I don't know if he's going to be going to the jungle or the lane, but he's a very good player here.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. So this is, as you said, I guess Peter's team.
Yeah, this is Peter's team. So on it we have Salvatore, Rayo, who already mentioned, Cinderella Man, Litri, and Peter. So
Alright.
this is going to be a tight one because obviously we saw really good stuff from Blue Oyster Bar there, in particular in those late game fights where they're coordinating Adex's afterburns and the gauntlets, and then also in the earlier game when Adex was roaming between lanes and getting off incredibly impactful ganks. So it's going to be a tight match, and I'm not sure which way it's going to go just off the surface. And I mean, what I'm particularly interested in is, are Blue Oyster Bar just going to run the same composition again, or at least I want to I do want to see them keep the glaive and the Arden because it was so effective, but I also want to see them try something new.
Well, see, I mean, if you think about it though, like one of the things that I find are really important in 5v5 team compositions is contingency plans, right? So when something bad happens, what are your contingency plans? So for example, in the last game, Promise Defiance, their contingency plan, at least in my opinion, was quite bad, which is, all right, well, we're all squishy in the backline. If we get dove, what happens? All right, we have to rely on a Lyra Bulwark. So what happened? They got dove on because they had a bad contingency plan, and for the most part, they had trouble dealing with the glaive. They had trouble dealing with the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And
They had the thing is they had a win condition, but if with old Lyra, maybe that win condition would have been achievable. But with the changes to Bulwark, Arden and Glaive are still admittedly they have their effectiveness can be limited in ways because if they go into that bulwark, but the problem is now once they're in it, Arden can still use his vanguards, he can still use his gauntlets, he just can't cross the boundary. So if he just uses it within, Lyra really doesn't nullify him that much at all anymore, which ended up being a bit of a problem for Promise Defiance because even though Nice Guy was landing some really nice bulwarks at certain points in the game, some of the ones he did to catch out Adex's afterburns were perfect. But one bulwark isn't going to save you. Maybe he should have picked up an Echo for that ability, given it was so critical to their win condition. But in the end, Blue Oyster Bar took it, and they exploited the fact that the win condition was so hard to execute as the team compositions come through.
yeah, no, and okay, all right, team compositions. So we have a Arden, Taka, Fortress, Idris, and Gwen for Infernio Gaming, and a Grace, Celeste. That's a Celeste, right? Vox,
Mm.
Arden, and a oh god, Alpha for the Blue Oyster Bar. So
Yeah.
as you did say, they did pretty much switch it up. Now
Mm.
I'm curious to see what their jungle pick is. I mean, it could be Alpha, and I think that's probably going to be your strongest jungle pick.
Yeah.
But we've seen some pretty fancy Graces.
Yeah, Grace is going to be Grace or Alpha in the jungle, and even though Adex is sitting himself on this Vox, that Vox won't be going towards the jungle. I can tell you that now. So I like the composition from Inferno Galdio has a very strong focus, and I love that within a composition. It is clearly a heavy dive composition. That is clearly exactly what they want to execute, and if they manage to do it, they have all the tools they need because they have CP Tackler here for the picks, Fortress for the team-wide move, speed boost. Peter, who is AFK at the moment, hopefully that doesn't last on this Arden for those gauntlets and vanguards, which are all, as we've seen, incredibly impactful abilities. And then you've got the damage of a CP Idris and a Gwen, both of which can move forward very effectively and follow up with very high damage. Over on the side of Blue Oyster Bar, again, you've got these pick-orientated heroes, such as this Alpha and such as this CP Grace, Weapon Grace, it would be, which can get into a fight and then which can get a lot of damage right off at the start of a fight. Then you've also got stuff like the Vox and the Celeste, which can do a lot of damage throughout a team fight and scale very well into the late game. So two very different compositions, clear, engaged, and purpose coming out from Inferno Galdio. But again, a composition which I think suits Blue Oyster Bar's strengths very well.
So I do have to ask though, because I've been curious about this one myself. So why do people keep picking up the weapon Vox as opposed to something like a Ringo, where you know you can pretty much bully out your lane matchup, and not necessarily win it for free, but a little bit easier than you would have normally.
It's an interesting one because The thing is, he is still a very strong pick due to his mobility and due to the fact his kiting and silence is just such
Oh.
an amazing kit as he
Well, it
gets
doesn't matter.
engaged on.
I was gonna say it doesn't matter how good his kid is if you're kind of dead. Now, Novin, he's just sitting there. His wife's dead. Now his dancing ice dancer son is dead. It's not a good day for this Arden.
Yeah, it's not a good day for this Arden right off the bat, as we do also see some position switch around from Blue Oyster Bar, which is interesting, as it does mean we're not going to be able to see any more of Garence's gauntlets, which could be influential given how superb they were last game. Meanwhile, I think overall, in terms of the lane matchups, everything, in my opinion, is sitting relatively even. Taka can do good stuff into a Vox, but then Vox can also bully that Taka. In the mid lane, this Idris is going to be having some trouble until he unlocks his divergent paths, and he will be able to be poked out by Celeste, but can also trade very well as Grace is engaged onto good Holy Nova, though.
Yeah, no, Grace. Oh, you're still in trouble. Maybe you can get a return kill, one more attack, and you might have been able to do it. But no, you have nothing. You get to sit face down into the river. It's not a fun day for that Grace either. So yeah, I mean, 2 picks immediately out for Infernio Gildio, and they're looking to push.
Mm.
I like this.
Those are 2 really good picks there, as it does help their heroes within their lane matchups. Grace can become a bit of a bully in the right circumstances. Once she gets that tension bow, her burst is absolutely incredible and could be used to delete this Gwen as she's looking for something. Maybe he gets caught at the fortress.
Yeah, no, the fortress, you're kind of in trouble. There's not much you can do. You just have to hope and pray that your Gwen stays alive, but that's not going to happen. You can't run fast enough. So yeah, I mean, I like that return kill for the Blue Oyster Bar, getting it, especially the assist onto Ghostraya. That'll help you kind of even up the lane matchup, make sure that
Fortress
nothing
secured
goes.
that. Fortress secured that
excellent.
healer. That was quite surprising, given CP Fortress not considered generally the best secure hero. Rayo is actually very comfortably winning this matchup as he takes down the Arden. Let's play from him.
All right, yeah, no, Arden was taken down, and now the mid lane's starting to push. We also have to worry a lot about ADX in this top lane. He's forced to pop a potion and then walk away. So, again, we're just looking at these 1v1 matchups, and it seems like
2v2 in the bot lane though.
Oh yeah, 2v2 in the bot lane. Okay, that's not really even fair though, because you know what? We've got an alpha on Garex, and he's just done so well on pretty much anything. Now he can't find a
Celeste
kill,
as
and
well.
Arden will. So that is pretty impactful. So finally now the Gwen will go down, but that's not the highest bounty hero. She's the only person to have died on her team.
Yeah, she's the only person to have died on her team, going down twice now. They are using this weapon Grace pick very effectively. Unfortunately, they are having Rayo destroying them so far in the mid lane. I'm worried because if the CP Idris gets leads, it can be a devastating pick as it does insane damage, as we saw in the late game stages. Once Modre last game has stacked his Dragon's Eye, he was tearing the team of Promised Defiance apart. So dangerous situations could crop up for the side of Blue Oyster Bar if they let this Idris get too far ahead.
All right, so the jungle shops are now open for business, and now we start to see the kind of like I guess more snowballing kind of play, right? Once that jungle shop is open and ready to sell items, you get to see heroes that start to win their lane matchups to just go take that on jungle shop. For example, this Taka, he can take down Vox, push his turret, go back, buy some items, and now he's super far ahead.
Yeah, he is now super far ahead, but the thing is, Grace is also winning this lane matchup in the bot lane, as we see a bit of an engagement in the mid lane, just a bit of poke onto the Arden, as Taka does very smart play there, stealing away the weapon buff. And again, they're showing good macros, Grace. That damage.
Yeah, no, that damage was good. As you said, Taka stole a buff, Grace stole a life. And now
I don't think Fortress can win this damage trade.
I
He
don't
thinks
think
he
he
can,
can.
but he doesn't know Alpha's in the wings. He doesn't need it.
Okay, that's brutal. All right, welcome to Grace in 2018.
Grace can be an absolutely dominant pick in a lane. It's due to the fact that she gets incredibly burst incredibly early on a point and click ability. It's actually quite disgusting. Although Rayo, in the meanwhile, is very heavily pressuring this mid lane. Some sort of gank needs to come out from Blue
Yeah, like
Oyster
this
Bar,
alpha
and now
right
it's
here.
coming.
Oh god, look at the damage onto Rayo immediately. He's
Got
just
level
trying to
6
cut out of
though.
this one. There's no real way for him to get out of this. Oh, okay, great Shimmer Strike just to get inside of the alpha, get inside her head, dodge the solar storm, and now here comes Taka. He can turn this around, Core Collapse was decent, but not able to save the Arden. So now we just see just a return to form, Infernal Gildio. They just get to go back to the
Oh,
default,
the
keep
interesting.
farming. Oh no, wait, oh wait, oh wait, oh wait. Here's
Right,
Salvador.
SSI.
He can turn this around. That was just a great aces high, double stun from the Celeste, and that's about it. So yeah, it's just Inferno Gaming. They're taking some pot shots, but it's not like anything majorly bad has happened to them, except for now. Here comes the Alpha. Okay, all right. I need to stop talking about stuff like that. I'm jinxing it, aren't I?
Here comes the Alpha, does pick up 1 kill, maybe going to get another, though he does get popped into his reboot just at the right time
No,
to
that's the
save
problem.
Rayo's life.
Okay, all right.
Looks like it may calm down for a bit unless Rayo thinks he can find this kill. Almost walks into the core collapse there, cutting a fine line between life and death so far as everyone on this map. As we see, a lane matchup trade has actually happened. The lanes have been switched around by Blue Oyster Bar. Sensible players, Vox was suffering in his lane matchup. Isn't particularly amazing against a Gwen either, as he doesn't have many good lane matchups in this situation. But he's better off against a Gwen than he is against this Taka, who was just zoning him, who was very easily killing him. Now, Taka, though, maybe caught out by the Grace.
Yeah, no, the Taka's cut out by the Grace. That was a great camp. So now the Taka really can't walk away from this one. Now he's flared, and just one more ability combo. Something someone can kill this Taka. Please, no. That will not happen. Taka gets to sit by his turret and farm. And so the lane Taka continues to push on.
Yeah, it's been a very intense early game so far. Both teams have been going for a lot of ganks. Some of them paid off, some of them haven't. As
So some ganks, like here in the bottom lane, Gwen just trading out with ADX. Oh, wait for it, just barely missed, and I think that's going to be relatively one trade for Gwen, but just barely. Salvador hand burst, Vox did not. So there you go. That's that kill. And on the top side, we're still seeing 2v2s. So now that Cinderella Man's here, he kind of turns this dynamic around a little bit because he forces some pressure from the Taka, gives a little bit of teeth towards the bite of that gank. And you know what? Alpha, you're pretty good. You take that gank. And we're just seeing just kills all over the map. It's just basically we're playing a game of who dies next.
Yeah, we're playing a game of who dies next with no end result currently, as maybe Grace is caught out. The Wolves are summoned as she's going in.
Yeah, we do see
Good
this
corner.
Fortress going in. The Gauntlet was great. It just stopped. It just basically stopped everything. Solar Storm just pretty good, but it's just not enough. As we see, just the rest of Blue Oyster Bar, they're going to have to walk away, and the double kill from Infernal Gildio. You just notice how much cleaner the engagements from Infernal Gildio are. It's like they do get engagements, they take some damage, but it's never just enough for them to go down. Never enough for them to die.
Yeah, that was an amazing rotation coming out of Rayo and Peter. You're using the Rivet buff in exactly the right way to get in a position to help their teammates. Maybe the damage in this mid lane is insane, and actually Rayo looks like won this trade. One auto attack from death is Modre.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair. Rayo, you're basically playing like a god. Who isn't? Like Rayo is 6-0-1.
Yeah, Rayo is doing an amazing job at this point as a gauntlet comes out from Peter. Not just going to whiff on that one, but again, this Vox is now being lane pressured back by this Gwen instead. He just isn't having a good time in lane currently. First turret went over to Inferno Gildio after that fight, and they're finally starting to make their kill lead churn. They're finally starting to do stuff with these gangsters. Maybe they're looking to pop Alpha into Reboot. Although now she's turning.
That was just a great attack from Reboot from Garance. So now he gets to kind of try and turn around. He has some help from Novin, so this could potentially be a decent fight. But ADX, he's in trouble. He's a Vox. He's playing against Cinderella Man, and the burst from Gwen is just too strong. And look at this Salvador just still destroying the side of Blue Oyster Bar. Now they get to turn around, start to push the minions. They can kind of proxy farm here, in between the lanes.
Yeah, interesting Gwen build coming out from Salvatore. He's going for a Serpent's Mask, not traditionally seen on a Gwen. Usually be picking up that tension bow, going into a Sorrow Blade, then either going into crit or something like a breaking point. Last game we even saw Poison Shiv being picked up again, not particularly favour. I do think crit and burst is the way to go with your Gwen as they pick up a turret in this bot lane as well. Taka may be slightly overextended here, but he's Taka. He'll probably be able to get away.
Oh, that was decent prime directive. Gauntlet comes down, so now they really want to commit onto a kill on the leader, which is he just gets to walk away. That is a lot of cooldowns blown for literally nothing.
Mm.
And see, this is the problem now. Is that Blue Oyster Bar, they don't have as clear of a way to get back into the game as they did the last one. I guess they can start off here with the pick on Rayo, which was kind of random, but you know what? It was a pick.
It was a pick, and that's influential, but now their mid lane is going to go down. That's a trade, and the problem is now this Gwen is going to be able to push in this mid lane, pick up what looks like it's going to be another turret. Turret taken into the bot lane though, meanwhile, by Voxers. Now people are trading objectives across the map. The macro game at this point has started, as we see a 4k gold lead. It crude, but Divine Intervention has been used.
So Divine Intervention has been used. Ghost, I guess I just call him Grace. Grace dives in onto leader. He has a decent amount of damage, but that's not going to be even close to enough. It's just him versus the world, and the world does not like him at all. So now Novin, he gets to just Vanguard himself away. See, that's really sad as an Arden, right? It's like when you have to Vanguard yourself. That's never a fun day. You don't Vanguard your team.
Yeah, good. This is a good 4-man jungle invade coming out from the side of Inferno Galdio. A lot of damage, and they've taken camps as well, which is the critical thing, as it looks like Celeste is going to be going down in the mid lane.
Yeah, so Celeste goes down in the mid lane. Now we're looking at this bottom lane matchup. ADX just gets destroyed by the Idris, and just everywhere Inferno Gildio is winning these matchups. As we said, it is much more about this kind of macro matchup, but it's come into a bunch of 1v1s. The closest thing that really Blue Oyster Bar's come close to winning was this kill onto Gwen, and finally they get something going their way. But it's just, I just feel like Blue Oyster Bar, they need to be more deliberate, right? Like,
yeah. They seem to need some sort of decisive edge to them. They're really not. They're making decisions, but they're not making decisions decisively enough. They're deliberating too long. They're being a bit hesitant, and that's allowing Rayo to accrue these leads. And he's sitting in a very dominant situation right now. His damage is crazy. He'll be able to pick up a third CP item as soon as he shops as Gauntlet comes down.
Yeah, so that was a decent Gauntlet. Novin decides to push into this one, but he has no backup. It's just him. He's an Arden. He can't do too much. Solar Storm, kind of wasted. Didn't do too much damage, but at the very least, it did take Inferno Gildio off of the mid lane push. Now, in the bottom lane, we see this Grace potentially able to actually push. So I like this a little bit better. And now you're forcing Salvador off of that turret. He can kind of turn around, see if he can do anything. Now he's in a 1v1 with the Fortress, which is not the worst 1v1 matchup, but I don't think he has enough health to kind of win this one out. So at the very least, you're distracting Divine Intervention there to keep himself healthier. But he's in a basic attack where someone come help your teammate from Inferno Gildio. Like Cinderella Man should not be in a fight this freaking long. Holy cow.
Yeah. Peter walked back straight towards the mid lane.
Oh, wait, can he win this? Go sit one more basic attack. Who's going to get
That was close. That was genuinely
so
very close. Meanwhile, Taka gets taken out in the top lane. They're not going to be able to gain anything from this, though. And we have seen tons of kills already this game. Like, we've seen absolutely loads. But across the map, we've seen, what? We've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turrets taken. It's a lot of kills for not much reward from both teams. Neither team looks close to getting an armory at this point. Their macro has been good in terms of getting the kills, but not good enough in terms of capitalizing on those kills. Rayo, though, is now sitting on 3 CP items. This is where the CP just really starts to come alive. As if he hasn't been alive already, really. He's been doing some amazing stuff so far, as maybe Gwen caught out in the bot lane.
Yeah, Gwen's definitely caught out. There's not much you can do about that, but this is really good for Blue Oyster Bar. Now they can send Gwen in the bot lane, just let her keep pushing, and she's been sort of putting so much pressure there. You could also think about defending your mid lane turret, as that is important. Oh, okay, Garrett decides to go in. Gauntlet is out, preventing anyone from Inferno Gildio from leaving. Blue Oyster Bar is sending Garrett in, so he's going to actually get that kill onto Idris. In the meanwhile, there's a dive from the Fortress in the backline, hoping to take out Celeste, and no, he will, but he has to trade 1-for-1 because the rest of the members of Blue Oyster Bar are there. So now you've got 3 members dead. Okay, now 2.
3 members.
Gwen respawned just in time.
Yeah. 2
Go
members
for the
dead,
objectives.
but the
Yeah.
gauntlet was used by Peter. It was really hard to notice because he got stunned out of it basically instantly, using it directly on a gauntlet wall, which wasn't exactly the best decision coming out from him. But this is right from Blue Oyster Bar. They need to take objective capitalization of this, and they're doing exactly that.
But you have to be
Interesting.
so careful. Like, you don't have a
Saka.
gauntlet of your own. Yeah, you're worried about the Taki, you're worried about Peter. This is going to be a 50-50 fight at the very, very least. I mean, Fortress is just now coming back up, and look at how low you are in terms of health bars. You have to take this fight. Gersan going in onto Salvador. Salvador could be in trouble. Here comes Rayo, and this should just be a destruction of the rest of Blue Oyster Bar. Bad decisions there, and this will lead to Inferno Geldio just saying, you know what, thank you very much. Thank you for taking the Blackwing down to half health. Now we're just going to take it ourselves. ADX, oh, okay, he's deciding to go for this fight again. Now, Fountain was used. That's pretty influential as it brings Inferno Geldio to much healthier than they were. Divine Intervention, again, still used to try and keep someone still alive. Ghost Tech finally goes down. But this should be Fortress just chasing out the kill onto ADX. Madre, I'm not sure you can do too much. You're a Celeste, buddy. You can't take these auto attack 1v1s. And no, Inferno Geldio, they can do whatever the frick they want. They got a Blackwing, and they got a mid lane to take.
Yeah, it's all collapsed a little bit from Blue Oyster Bar after that. They made the right call going for a dragon, but they picked the wrong dragon. They should have gone with the Ghost Wing. The timer and the kill advantage wasn't quite enough to go for the Black Claw take. It takes a lot longer to secure. And in the end, that just absolutely destroyed them. As we see another engagement.
Oh, that gauntlet was actually huge. Here's another gauntlet from Peter to try and stop the engagement, but Garrett is just too good. He's playing this incredibly well. Just taking out each individual members, taking these 1v1s, and this is the power of the alpha. He's still finding kills. Now he reboots. Oh, okay, barely missing the prime directive onto Cinderella Man. Now he gets to reboot, try to walk away, and that was actually really good because it gave the rest of Blue Oyster Bar time to just alone spend it with some quality time with the Black Claw punching down your mid lane. All right, now so Black Claw.
Yeah, it was really good push for the side of Inferno Geldio, as they managed to get 2 armories exposed, and then the other lane hasn't been taken down too much, but you got 2 armories exposed. You didn't take an armory though, which is a bit of a shame. Usually with the Black Claw, you look to take out 1 armory, gain a permanent advantage rather than temporary advantages, but this Ghost Wing is still up, and throughout this game, we've really seen very little action toward it, despite so far a massive amount of kills occurring. We've got 39 kills so far in this game. Yeah, Ghost Wing hasn't been taken once, and Black Claw's only been taken once. It's kills are happening. Tons and tons of kills are happening again and again and again. And it's resulting in some interesting situations where you've got people like Salvatore who are 4-7-4 and not in the most amazing
Oh, Rayo, he's just getting bursted though. I like these decisions from Blue Oyster Bar. Now, you've got to turn. You got to realize that, okay, now that Rayo's just been destroyed, go for that Ghost Wing. Go for an objective because Rayo has to go home. He's going to be gone for a little bit. And I think that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, they're being hesitant about it though. They needed to go there and start it straight up. Rayo is going to be back in time and near enough to contest, and they're clearing out vision around it. This is all too cautious. I mean, if you went for it, you would have known the enemy team knew you were going for it. It's just common sense. So why did you bother clearing out the vision? You should have just started up the objective straight away as the wolves are summoned.
Oyster Bar though, they whiffed on the gauntlet, but they will find a gift in Peter, and so now he's just probably going to die. He's going to try and get himself out of it. That was a decent gauntlet, but there's just no follow-up from it. Now Rayo on the side, he could be the victor here as Garrett's just pushing on to Rayo. There's still 5 members alive from Blue Oyster Bar, and here comes in the Solar Storm. That was great. So many low members on Inferno Gaming. Leader, he has to do something, but I don't think it's going to be enough as the dive is not strong enough. And now Inferno Geldio will pay for their sins. They will be stuck in some. They're stuck in the 12th layer of hell, the layer of hell, where you get to watch. You get to watch the enemy team take dragons for free.
Yeah, they're taking this dragon for free, and that was a quality Solar Storm coming out from Madre, absolutely ripping through the enemy team. The gauntlet from Peter was perfect. He really could not have done it really much more to survive. But why are you porting? You're healthy. This is the sort of macro decisions which are infuriating to watch in 5v5, because you have just taken a dragon. Why are you now not just pushing one of the lanes? Any lane, doesn't matter which lane, just push a lane. The Ghost Wing gives you more health regen out of combat. which means you'll be back up to full health within sort of 30 seconds. You don't need to port back after that take. You're wasting key time on this buff, and we see it's nearly decayed half the way already. They need to make use of this now. Take a team fight, siege a turret, just do something, Blue Oyster Bar, please.
Well, I mean, if they're gonna do something, they're gonna try and push down this mid lane. They have the Celeste to do it, and Garance is trying to poke. He's done a good job at that poking. But there's really no minion weight built up. There's the attack of the pack. So here comes in the full 5v5 team fight. Gauntlet goes down, stuns up too. That's such a great gauntlet. And Blue Oyster Bar, they're collapsing right now. There's nothing that they can do about this because they're just so spread out. This is just such a win for Inferno Gaming. Now, Garance is able to find a kill in the back of this, and he could come from the back line if he can get a good prime directive and just kind of turn this fight around. He isn't able to do it. Solar Storm goes out. Now, Garance is being collapsed on by the rest of the members. Here comes the rest of the Blue Oyster Bar as well. ADX playing in the back line. This is just such a good fight now for Blue Oyster Bar. They're finally winning this out. Self-destruct doesn't land, but now Blue Oyster Bar, they have priority over basically anything. ADX, I'm not sure what he's doing. I think he's maybe trying to push like the top lane. You can go for Black Claw, and that's open, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So Blue Oyster Bar, they took what looked like initially to be a very bad fight, but turned it around. And I still have to say, Garance, holy crap, your play in both games has been amazing.
Yeah, Garance has been the key defining factor, in my opinion, in why Blue Oyster Bar have been so amazing in both games. He's been doing incredible work, and on this alpha, he's finding flanks. And the flanks he is finding have been so unbelievably destructive. That flank there, what was key with having the Ghostwing buff in that situation is the fact that Modre and Addix didn't die, despite being focused by Taka. And the fact that both of your carries haven't died is critical, because that means then they can turn around, and when Garrix does come in and start tanking up that damage and doing damage in the front line, they can come back in and do damage on the return. He's now up to 12-1, Garrix, as they're looking to push in onto the base.
Yeah, they're looking to push really hard, and just look at how many low members there are on Inferno Guildio. That was just a great prime directive. Garance now could actually be caught. He does have a Divine Intervention, keep him nice and healthy. Not sure how that works on a robot, but you know what? It's magic. Don't even ask. The army is being pushed. Black Claw's at half health.
Black Claw's confused.
I know, right? He's just doing 360.
Oh, the gauntlet!
Oh, that was just such a great gauntlet. Holy crap, this could be a turnaround now for Inferno Guildio. This is exactly what they need. This is a problem now for the side of Blue Oyster Bar. They can focus on this Black Claw that's attacking their base. They got 40 seconds now to kind of reset, understand what's going on, and understand what happened. I mean, I'm probably sure the ADX is going to push this top lane, definitely get that top lane turned, but still, this is just such a good turnaround. Oh, he can't even do that. This is just such a good turnaround for the side of Inferno Guildio. They get to just take a second to breathe, and now they're kind of the ones I feel on the back foot. Like, officially now, despite the fact that the gold is in their way, I feel like they're actually, like, behind.
Yeah, I also feel like they're actually behind us. Maybe Garance is looking for something. He's stacking this Dragon's
That was
Eye
just
up
such a great wait for it. Garance has his reboot. He's going to land it onto Peter. ADX, that's going to be huge. Solar Storm comes in. Garance, he's going to come back alive. He can just destroy these members of the Blue Inferno Guildio as ADX is able to get one kill in return. Now, Madre, he's diving in really hard. I'm not sure that he really wants to take this. Are you sure about this?
He does. He does. He knows he does. And now they've got the man advantage. If they can stop the Gwen and the Arden from recalling, and they can stop the Idris, this Grace is going to come in and absolutely delete someone. The fact they've also got this mid lane constantly pushing now because they've taken down that armory.
I want to see them go for the Ghostwing. They got to go for it.
I agree with you there. They should definitely be going for the Ghostwing, try and capitalize here. Unfortunately, it's not going to be going on to Garance because he is dead right now. So, well, for one of the very few times in this game. So he's not going to be able to pick up that Ghostwing buff, and I maybe would have liked to see them secure a bit of vision around it, maybe hold it off, try and get Garance on the buff as well. But you've now got 4 of your members buffed up, and critically your 2 carries. And we've already seen how influential this Ghostwing buff can be.
Yeah, and just look at the health bars. Like, look at this Vox. He's healing up so fast, and he has a barrier. He's at full health now. And there's... Oh, whoa, okay.
That's
Solar
not good.
Storm is, Solar Storm is a big misclick. Let's hope that Inferno Guildio didn't see that at all.
Yeah. I don't know. I believe Celeste reveals herself when she does a Solar Storm because you're using ability on a global scale. Therefore, that could be, if they notice this and capitalize within the next 20 seconds, that could have been a big mistake. Doesn't look like they're going to be doing so, though.
So this is interesting, though. So they're waiting for this Black Claw. They're waiting for the Black Claw to spawn and basically use that as bait. So
yeah, I don't like this call. It's not long. It's too long, and the Ghost Wing buff is going to be out soon. They should be going for just a push. In my opinion, they should be just picking a lane. Probably, I'd probably say not the mid lane actually, because you've got that constantly pushing anyway. That you can turn your focus to another lane. Thing is, look at this Ghost Wing buff. It's almost gone already. They haven't capitalized on that take at all. Blue Oyster buff.
I'm
And
looking for
again,
Ballista Bar.
indecisive macro.
You have to watch though for this gauntlet from Novin. At any time he could just decide to turn it, and I mean, I think you're right. Yeah, that's officially the Ghost Wing buff gone. That's now dead. And now Ballista Bar, what are they looking for? What exactly is your win condition? Are you gonna like wait for the perfect person to step outside of range? Are you gonna try and just go for this Ghost Wing? It looks like the entire time they were just trying to stall for this Blackclaw.
Yeah, a weird decision. In my opinion, not the one that they should have been going for. Now they're just slowly giving up ground, which is just such a bizarre decision. They're scared of the instant engage which can come out from Inferno Galdio, which is fair enough because it is instant engage and it can be very dangerous.
ADX, he's in trouble. He's way too caught out. They're waiting for the catch up. Well, they themselves got caught out. Attack of the Pack comes out, and Cinderella Man just going straight onto ADX. Now Ghostic, and here's the turnaround from Garens, but he doesn't have enough damage this time. This should be a fight one potentially from Inferno Galdio, but look at the damage. That was just such a great kite back from Blue Oyster Bar, and they should be able to actually close this out. As I say that, we see. Oh, core collapse! Oh, okay. The core collapse was great, but you don't have any follow up for that. But now,
it's close.
Okay,
Rose
okay,
dead. Rose dead. That's fine.
Yeah.
That could be game if they can get the kill onto this. I think it's going to be game anyway because they've got two.
No, just push. Honestly, just push.
Yeah.
You've just got a Gwen. You've got a Gwen. The next thing.
Yeah, just go in. The thing is, they've got two massive minion waves, three massive minion waves actually, if you count the one that could easily be built up in this top lane. They need to be decisive and they need to just push. Just straight away pick a lane, push it. Because we see that Gwen have chosen to deal with this bot lane. That's at least an easy armory over in top lane here. Maybe, though, if no one's here to help Modre, he could go down.
Alright, so Salvador, that was pretty decent. Not bad,
nice
not
play.
bad at all.
He's not going to be able to save the armory, though.
He's not going to be able to save the armory. Now, the other question is that what is with this Ghost Wing call? Because, I mean, I kind of get it because...
Blackclaw.
The Blackclaw. What is with this Blackclaw take? Because Ghost Wing, he should be able to get it. I think he'll be fine. Hopefully he doesn't die. No, he's not going to die.
Yeah,
right,
it's the wrong call. It's the wrong call again. Like, firstly, your Celeste just been taken out. That should be your first cue to drop it. Because, now Adex. Now Adex has been caught by Taka, and Taka is good in 1v1s.
Taka's very good in 1v1s, but if Adex sees him, this could be a problem. Garrett is there with him. Alright, so there's no... Crystal. So now, at the very least, yes, you got kills. Good job, Inferno Galdio, but you have to deal with this Blackclaw, and I think they should, in theory.
Yeah, they'll be able to get it down. This doesn't actually do as much damage to Vayne Crystal as people expect. But the problem is, you have this wave in the bot lane as well, so they'll be able to get this, but they've lost two armories, and if they don't go straight to this wave in the bot lane, just here, they could end up with 3 turrets as Fortress goes down. They've got it, but again, that armory's very low, and I'd love to actually have seen Celeste snipe it. That would have been hilarious. Then they're not dealing with the wave fully. I don't like this decision, but this
is where teleport boots is great. Honestly, ADX buy teleport boots and teleport top lane. You win
teleport top lane or teleport bot lane. Like
you can't teleport bot lane anymore, but yeah.
Just pick a lane and teleport to it, because this Vayne Crystal is low, and actually, if you can get to the base of Ryzen quickly, you could pick up some pick up a really easy win, because it's a Vayne Crystal currently regenerating, but it's relatively slow, and I think that window of opportunity has been missed. Really, they haven't made that call, and I think it's fair enough. It is a very risky call to make, because obviously, if you don't pull it off, you're putting yourself a man down for the next fight, which is real shame, and that could be really influential. Amazingly, through all of this, despite having 0 turrets and 1 armory, that Gauntlet was interesting one. He does have an echo, so it's not too bad, but that is not what he would have wanted to happen. That's the second misclick in terms of ultimates we've seen come out, and Inferno Galdio definitely know about this one. They definitely saw that. Can't not have seen that. That was a pretty glaring mistake. So I really want to see them maybe go for an engage though. And it
All right,
looks
so
like they're
there it
doing
is.
so.
This is that's that engaged. Leaders on the backline. Gauntlet comes out from both teams. Now, leaders they're just so in trouble. The health bars aren't there enough, and now we just see Inferno Gildio. They're just getting deleted right now. Salvador just needs one more shot and he's dead. Now this is actually good somehow for Inferno Gildio, despite the fact that they kind of got blown up at the start. They're finally winning this out. Now this is a problem because ADX, you got to get out of this. You have to defend with your Vein Crystal. Garrett's, he's in trouble.
Oh, he's
There's
got
the
the
Prime Directive. He can get that
Yeah.
kill. So there it is. There's at least one kill. Now
Rayo
you have
has
to
a lot
deal
of
with
damage.
Rayo, who will be chasing after you, who has the basic stack damage. Are you going to use your Prime
Pops
Directive
your
and turn
ultimate
around?
now.
Pop
No,
it!
too
Oh,
late.
all right.
That
He's
could be
dead.
devastating. No, he's gonna get his reboot off, but yeah, he's gonna go down and he knows it. Yeah,
Oh no! But at the same time, look at this Vox. The Vox did exactly as
Vox
you were saying.
ended.
He took the teleport, but he just won.
Vox ended. we are officially the most inobservant people as Adex
Wow.
pulls off a great teleport boots play. Exactly what we said he should have been doing as defeat comes out for Inferno Galdio. Despite being 7 kills up, constantly it seemed 5k goals up, with Rayo putting in great work throughout the game. They were doing really nice stuff. But in the end, I've got to commend Garen. I think this guy's amazing right now. If any sort of pro scouts are watching him, you've got to pick him up because his Arden was on point last game, and now we've turned out he can play Alpha as well. Like, is this guy amazing and is now going to go play mid lane and destroy the game as well? Because it honestly feels like that. Because he's been incredible in both games. His this game his prime directives constantly hitting multiple people with them, getting that humongous splash damage across massive amounts of the team. And he's been devastating. And in all honesty, I think he is the defining difference between in the 2 games we've seen so far. Is his play when you get to this team fighting stage has been superb.
Now I do have to mention though, like ADX. I mean, he really struggled in that early portion of the game. And let's be honest here, he didn't have the best of performance. 5, 9, and 10 on a Vox, right? You're gonna get assist on a Vox. That's just that's how Vox plays. But I mean, I really though. It was just they just had such a hard time getting off from Madre, getting onto ADX, that essentially what happened was just that Garrett had the time to go for the kills. He had time to go for the backline flanks, and it was just really, I think it was the kiting from both ADX and Madre that essentially won it out, despite the fact that really the lane matchups really didn't go Blue Oyster Bar's way in the early
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, we've actually been seeing this. It's this like in the first game, you had the Glaive roaming around and he was finding picks, but there are at least 2 lanes which were going in Promise Defiance fashion. Again, Inferno Galdio doing exactly the same thing, winning those lane matchups, winning that early game, pushing onto those turrets deep, but not able to close out. And this is a thing which, and we saw in the late game as well, Blue Oyster Bar wasted their Ghost Wing buff, and both games have been quite long games. We've had teams struggling to close out, and that's because they're using Black Claw okay, but they're taking a bit long to set up their Black Claw pushes because it's generally been it's quite often been a contested objective, and when they're setting up, they're not setting up right. But they're doing the wrong thing, in my opinion, with this Ghost Wing buff. Is what they're doing is they're not taking it early enough and confidently enough because it's massively influential and you can take it very early, and they're not being quick enough about using it. We saw in that game Blue Oyster Bar were hesitating around the mid lane. They really shouldn't have been doing that because you had the mid lane armory down, and it's really unlikely, even with the Ghost Wing buff, that you're going to be able to take a fight in the mid lane and then be able to take the entire game, because they'll kite back into the base and then suddenly the fight turns against you. You're in much more shrunken dimensions with a Vein Crystal firing at you. What they should be doing is grouping on one of the side lanes and trying to push that one. It's just these little bits of decision making when we come into the late game, which from all 3 teams we've seen so far haven't been perfect. But the thing is, Blue Oyster Bar have been doing them the best so far, and that's why they've been winning these games.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's just like once we get to that team fighting phase, again, really just Blue Oyster Bar turns it on. What I would love to see is just that Blue Oyster Bar needs to get in contact with whoever the shot caller is for Promise Defiance and get them on this team.
Yeah, they need that. It's actually they've in general been quite unlucky in the fact that they have had poor lane matchups, and with the blind pick, that's simply a matter of luck. Um, they did do a decent job of trying to rotate the Addex out of his lane against the attacker, try and get him into a more slightly less unfavorable matchup because all honesty, Vox into Gwen is not a good matchup anyway. It's just slightly better than Vox into Attacker. But by that point, the laning phase was really coming to a close. But now we have we have the other team in it. The next challenger coming up to the plate is going to be Valkyrie. We've got Melina Katana, Mini Mitra, Devilicious, Skull Hunters, and Carnage. And I'm looking forward to some seeing if they can finally unpick what is going to beat this Blue Oyster Bar team.
Yeah, no, I'm curious myself because if you look at the lineup for if you do actually look at the lineup, I mean, you don't have anyone that just like eye pops and it's like, oh my gosh, this guy will just kind of destroy Blue Oyster Bar. They'll just by themselves 1v5 carry and
Yeah.
and just win the game. But I feel as a roster, they're not that bad. They're solid. I'm looking at Skull Hunters to potentially do work. He's done some work on the Vox before. Um,
Yeah,
Devilish is
it's
go ahead.
strong. It's a strong roster coming out from Valkyrie. Mini Mitra is actually the analyst for SK Gaming, so I'm looking for him to maybe pull out something which we either haven't seen before or use something in a way we haven't seen before. I think this could maybe be when the first time we see something dramatic happen in the early game, because watching SK in those show matches earlier, they were pushing in that early game and they were really trying to
Oh,
get something. So it would be nice to if we can now see that happening in this early game. That's really what I'm focused on is will we see something new in this early game, and maybe finally that can be what throws Oyster Bar off.
okay. All right. That seems fair enough. Because I mean, I feel like if you push Blue Oyster Bar in the early game and really force them into labor pains of like that early game, like you have to come out and you're like, oh my gosh, we're actually losing this early game and we're losing it hard. Really prevent Garance, who's playing Arona now, to do anything. You can win it. I'm not sure this is a comp you want to do it with.
Does
So
he just play everything? Like
yeah, he does play
this is
everything.
weird. It seems like he just plays everything, Garance.
Right, so
It would be. I'm wondering what Rhino ability is going to go with. So far, we've seen the Serpent's Mask Breaking Point build. That's actually, in my opinion, not the strongest build right now. You definitely this Sorrowblade Double Tyrant's Monocle Rona build is absurdly strong. Its split pushing potential is crazy, but there's problems with this Blue Oyster Bar composition now. Here, it's the fact that Krull is very good against Alpha. Krull is an incredibly hard counter into Alpha if played properly, especially in the early game. You can absolutely dominate the Alpha. So I'm looking for Skull Hunters to do work on this pick, as we've got this Roam Fortress this time as opposed to the Jungle Fortress last game from Inferno Galdio. I'm going to be interested to see if that's going to do work, as it looks like it's going to be passive early game rotations once again from both teams, and I feel disappointed, Mini. I wanted to see something new in the early game. I wanted to see something exciting, but it's clearly not to be.
I know, right? I was gonna say, if you're talking about the analyst for SK Gaming looks so good in the show matches. I mean, obviously adding a couple of extracurricular.
Adding a Hundor and Techno JJ to any team would not go amiss, I have to admit. But I mean, they looked incredibly strong anyway, and I think they would have looked incredibly strong even without those two. But we're going to be seeing these standard early game rotations coming out with the Samuel going towards that mid lane. I like Samuel as a mid lane pick more than other mid laners, not personally playing him, but as a pick because his poke is incredibly strong, especially once you pick up that Drifting Dark, you can really pressure matchups, and I'm looking for him to really pressure Modre in this early game.
Yeah, so it is really funny with specifically the Samuel, because when you're just default Samuel trying to poke, you actually don't have that great a poke, right? You would think that with an ability like Malice and Verdict, that you would have something, but no, you're even easier to body block than a Kestrel. But as soon as you get that Drifting Dark down, then, yeah, as you said, it becomes much easier to get that damage from afar and really push into the lane. Now, ADX, interestingly enough, he understands that poke is pretty relevant, and he wants to just change this now. There's no poke, there's no prodding, there's nothing. ADX just going to
He's
push. This
rebooting
is
out
the
the turret.
problem. Yeah.
He didn't actually want to hit that in the end. He probably, well, after the moment he cast that ability, probably swore and then instantly regretted it. So that it was a slight misplay.
Yeah, so Skull Hunters, you saw that, right? So he ran up to the lane
Mm.
with his buff, or with his speed boost.
And
Went
with
to
his
go
buff,
for the
he
gank.
has a buff.
Yeah, he has a buff. And all of a sudden, just Blue Oyster Bar just like walked away as fast as they could.
Yeah, and again, you've got issues for this Vox. This Vox pick has been heavily prioritized by teams so far. Like, it's been in every single matchup we've seen, and also we've even had double Vox matchups as we've seen in the first game. But it is being pressured here rather heavily by Gross on this Gwen, and he's doing a really good job of putting down some pressure as we see an engagement up in the top lane.
Yeah, we do see that engage ADX going after Carnage.
Carnage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Carnage.
Yeah.
Carnage. Yeah, that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. But you know, it also makes
That
sense. This Crow makes a lot of sense. Oh,
Mm.
okay. I was gonna
Yeah.
say he's gonna gank, but not at
Skull
all.
Skull Hunters hasn't been doing it quite right. He's been, it seems, following Adex around and just getting there a second too late every time. He needs to be going not necessarily towards maybe a different lane, as we see a kill picked up in the bot lane by Gwen. These are little advantages being earned by the blue side across the map. Mini going down as well.
Yeah.
4-1, and it's only sort of 800 to 1k gold lead, but these early kills can really set the pace and the tone for the rest of the game, and put and really the mentality shifts which it puts into the minds of the players could be the most influential thing about these early kills and early ganks and early trades going the way of Blue Oyster Bar.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially when you get these early trades for Blue Oyster Bar. I mean, you look at it. I really feel like yes, you do have a decent amount of scaling with Rona, with Kroll, and with Samuel and Vox as well. But like, you look on the other side, it's not like they're going to just fall straight off the face of the earth, right?
No.
You have a CP, or is that? I think that's a CP Alpha. Yeah, that's a CP Alpha.
CP Alpha, CP Idris, these are really strong picks when you're getting into the late game. So yeah, it's not going to be all fun and games the moment Valkyrie get into the late game. But this is the poke of the Samuel which we've been talking about,
Right,
he's
and
looking
now
for a kill.
No, Mini, that was an interesting little maneuver. Push up, see if you can get that kill. You can't get it. All right, let's just back off, rotate, and then.
I like
we'll
this
see where we
alpha
go from there.
play by Adex. He's going for a sort of pincer movement, a really large scale pincer movement. In the end, he goes for a great kill.
Okay. You know, Skull Hunters, though, he can just turn this around. If he can get the reboot out of Adex, he can just straight up win this. Devilicious has to deal with this Gwen, but instead Skull Hunter's just gonna throw the shark on her. Now this is just Alpha hoping to get a return kill, get something.
Not gonna get
You're
it.
not gonna
He's
be able
not
to
gonna
do
get
it.
it.
You just need the smite up. Smite's up in 3 seconds, but the Dead Man's Rush is up even earlier. So
Yeah.
that's going to be another death. 2 kills for absolutely nothing
Hmm.
in favor. Finally.
Well, they did get the fortress down, but in the
Oh,
end,
they did
yeah,
get the fortress.
it's a Roma. It's basically nothing at this point in the game.
Wow.
In terms of finding picks, it's not an influential pick. Roma's going to scale anyways, no matter what, really.
Hashtag
So
rumors lives matter.
okay, if you say that, they are usually quite often used as a sacrifice. But now this Gwen has returned with her tension bow. She's not going to be able to pick anything up straight away. Carnage and Garrett both look like they're going to be going for the same Rona build. I really need someone to pull out this Swordblade Turbo Tyrant's Monocle build so we can really see what I've been talking about, because it is such a strong build, and in particular for the side of Blue Oyster Bar, it could be so influential here, because you could have the Rona up in one lane, the Alpha in the other lane, and then that's almost an unbeatable split pushing combo. Because if you go because it basically has to be Kroll to deal with one of them in that situation. And if Kroll goes to one of them, the other one takes 3 turrets. It's as simple as that. I wanted to see this build, but alas, it is not to be.
Alright, I have no idea what you're talking about because my Discord decided to crash on me. So yeah. So welcome back, me. The game's still been going on. Kills have still been happening, and it looks like Valkyries are starting to get a better footing in this game. You notice that they're not just kind of feeding their arses off. they're finally trying to trade things. But now look at the top lane. Carnage All right. You had to get out of that one. You're not as far ahead. But yeah, I do like this now. Valkyrie, they're looking to push. They're finding the way that they're finding their advantages are just through things like this, incremental things. Get that one pick, push a little bit forward. Now, as long as you can help out Yorona, which is nearly dead and actually probably dead. Oh wait, Carnage. Oh,
How?
Garrus.
How did he-
How'd you do that? Yeah.
Kroll's here now, so that's going to be an easy pick
Yeah.
up. But
you go.
anyway, goes down. It doesn't really matter. He got the kill on the turret anyway. The matchups which have been the real problem is Modre in this mid lane. He's been heavily pressured by Mini Mitra, and he's been able to build up quite a substantial CS lead. Meanwhile, in
Yeah.
the bot lane, Melina Katana's had to rotate down on this fortress to help out her CP Vox, who's been pressured very heavily by the Gwen. Now
Now
looking for a
Gwen's still
kill.
pressuring. All right, Melina. There's not much more you can do about this. You can poke and pro the Gwen all you want, but you're really not going to win this damage trade.
Mm.
That's why. Right there is why.
Those 300 damage procs of tension bow, like that is the reason why. Is we've seen Skull Hunters. He's picked up his game after that early little bit of stalking Adex around the map. As
Oh, Adex. Oh, what? Okay,
Oh, he's
okay.
dead.
Mini Mite's still somehow alive. I have no idea how that happened. Like,
Dead.
Adex is like literally just turn and like use an ability, an auto attack, something other than just like literally walking in and
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah, in the end, not the outcome Adex would have wanted, but I'm really worried for Modre because he needs to be scaling really well because he is the CP late game damage nice chakra.
Yeah, no. That if you want to talk about scaling, that's how you do it. Skull Hunters goes over the body of his dead Samuel, picks up that buff, and now see, here we go. This is exactly what we want to see. Devilish is winning the trade against the Gwen in the bottom lane. So finally, we see a Vox not be poor and helpless and defenseless, and
Yeah.
Devilicious now can push this lane, try to get some damage down, or maybe even just go after this Arden, who's kind of out of position. He vanguards away and uses the potion, so he'll be fine. Melina probably isn't because there's an alpha here. Attack of the back was used, and with great prime directive, Devilicious is just going to get cleaned up here. One more, two more basic attacks, three more. There it is. There's a double kill.
Yeah, and you've got the Kroll rotating down, and he's going to be, maybe not actually going to be able to find a kill, and that's going to be collapsed and deleted instantly. So that's not good. Meanwhile, Garance has been put under a bit of pressure, but he's got his first turret of his own anyway. Carnage may be slightly ahead in terms of CS, but I feel like Garance is still doing good work. Talking of that, he may go down here actually,
Yeah,
as
no.
Carnage looks to dive rather deep for this one.
No, he was not bleeding out. There was no major damage, but Gwen was able to find, in the meantime, Mini Mitra. So now, this is going to be a mid lane push. At the very least, it was first, or actually, not even first turret, going over to Valkyrie. So this is not fun at all for the rest of Valkyrie. This is Blue Oyster Bar setting up for the Ghost Wing, and so they should be able to get this with relative ease.
Yeah, unless some sort of contest comes through from the CP Vox, it can be a particularly dangerous pick for contesting objectives because you have to group around it when you're taking it. And either Gwenult does go wide, Ghostwing has been captured though. And please don't pull back after this. That would actually kill me if you did so again. If they did so again, like
You've
they
got
did
the
last
item
game.
shop right. You've got the item shop right there. Go to it.
Yeah, it's right by the dragon for a reason. So now they've picked up this buff, and I like this. They're taking these buffs early this time, trying to take early advantages, and that's an area which previously Blue Oyster Bar struggled with, but now they're finding success as this Arden looks to be in a fight, and they've got great burst damage onto the Kroll.
All right, there's the Atlas landed onto a couple members. Gauntlet hits the wall, just whiffing quite hard. So now it's just Garrus all alone, but he's still winning this fight. He's winning the trade. Mortal wounds come down, and
the
finally
Kroll.
Garrus can take it down. The Kroll, as you said it, just the damage there. Smite's too good, but this is still looking okay for Blue Oyster Bar, but then no, not anymore. All right, so that is just textbook how you counter sloppy pushes like this. You've got up in the top lane, Carnage just pushing that top lane. You have basically the rest of Valkyrie dealing with this kind of 5v5 push. So now you have to have someone deal with Carnage, and ADX can't even do that.
Garance is now here, and I don't even think he's going to be able to pick up this kill. He's actually behind, and Carnage has his breaking point snapped already. This is a damage trade, which if Carnage starts spinning, he might win. Close one.
Okay. So Mini Mitra now can come in and clean this up, but like this has just been so perfect from the side of Valkyrie. Even though, yes, maybe you go down a blood. Oh, okay. What? Oh, wasted. You had the Oblivion on two
Gwen.
members. Can you get the return kill? No, he can't. All right, Gwen is just too good.
skedaddling out of that one. But again, yeah, you're right. That is textbook of how to counter that sloppy push. Like they go for the go, they go for the go swing and then lose the fight. Firstly, because of poor engages, Gauntlet whiffing that and the like. Meanwhile, Carnage just pushed all the way and taken down your armory turret to half health. Not the greatest outcome for Blue Oyster Bar, as Valkyrie's showing good macro, and they're going to have to be so careful of Carnage in this top lane because he's got his tier 3 boots. He's just going to be looking to push this lane again and again and again as the turret lead goes over to Valkyrie.
Yeah, the turret lead going over to Valkyrie. And this is actually a 1v1, 8x versus Carnage. So now here comes the rest of Blue Oyster Bar. Modrake can collapse here. Skull Hunters decide to go straight onto ADX, and Gauntlet comes down. So this is now a problem for Valkyrie as they've lost a member to the collapse of Blue Oyster Bar. Blue Oyster Bar, they have to think now, how do we want to take this advantage? Ghost Wing obviously isn't up. So now it's basically, are we going to push? Are we going to try and send someone to 1v1 Carnage? Is that really what we want to be doing? We want to just group up, take this mid lane turret that's almost dead, but they're just going to back off.
Yeah, again, nothing decisive taken off that from Blue Oyster Bar. They were clearly uncomfortable with where the lanes were pushed up to, and that in the end just ends up with them being forced back gradually. Skull Hunters has been turned on really well so far in these fights, as it looks like we got another Rona 1v1 going on. Garynx, the god, is winning.
Yeah, no, Garynx is just doing so well. Now, this Ghost Wing is up, and the trades happen, and it looks like Blue Oyster Bar, they're just looking to collapse onto this. Aces High. It does land onto Kroll, but it's not going to be enough to take him down. Devilish, he's just going to lead with the wait for it. He's not going to be patient with that ability at all. ADX should be able to take Devilish down on the side, but Fountain comes out, and the From Hell's Heart is perfect. Doesn't land, but it forces the reboot out. Now the Alpha is officially dead. Here comes the rest of the collapse. Rona is in. Minimight just dealing so much damage from the side. The Malice, the Verdicts, putting shots one wand in front of the other. Now Minimight has to get away from this. He did some damage. That's about the extent of what he's going to do. Get a kill. Not going to even be able to stop the turret. He does get yet another kill, so now Minimight just, he's just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And that was a 3-for-2 trade, but I think Blue Oyster Bar is actually okay with that.
Yeah, I think Blue Oyster Bar is okay with that, because it's only one member more traded, and you get the turret, and map control is always great. Turrets are always great, as they do manage to slightly mess up taking the cam there. Novan does take quite a lot of damage from the Ghost Wing at the same time. But Garynx has been winning this 1v1 up in the top lane against Carnage, despite being behind in gold. That's not a situation you want your split pushing Rona to be in, losing against another... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Another Rona with worse others. Now they've just run straight past Kroll. They've just
who cares about the Kroll? We can get Carnage. We can get Carnage dead almost immediately, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Gauntlet comes out. No one can really get in. No one can get out. And you know what? The only way out really is death. Now, Minimight, I'm not sure what he did there. Like he tried to come in to save his teammates, but he just walked straight into the Gauntlet wall, and now he's dead. Double kill for the Rona. Now you've got 4 members on the entirety of Valkyrie dead. The last person left alive is Devilicious, and he's pushing in the bottom lane. So, I mean, you just take Blackclaw here? Yeah. That's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, you just take the Blackclaw, and you send Alpha to start up taking this Ghost Wing. Please start, well, or not. She goes with an interesting decision of just walking in the shop and not buying anything. Does eventually pick up that infusion and then goes off to deal with the bot lane, which is already being dealt with by the turret, leaving this Black
okay.
Modric pushing
Can someone explain this to me? So Novan just went.
Yeah.
Okay, so Novan just went from the Blackclaw to the other side of the map to buy the other side of the map's jungle item shop instead of buying at the one right by the Blackwing. Or Blackclaw.
Yeah, Blackclaw not gaining any sort of advantage there. They don't even send the Roan to split push up in top lane because lane's pushed up. Blackclaw's going to be going down rather shortly, and in the end it's another wasted objective from Blue Oyster Bar. These poor macro decisions do infuriate me as Arden goes down. Now they're going to look to collapse onto Garance.
Yeah, so Garance should be caught by something. Someone's got to catch him. There you go. Kroll, you can slow him. So he's going to die. Now Melina diving in a bit too aggressively, and she will get punished for that. But like, even still, it's like, why? These are basic things. Go to the jungle shop closest to you. Don't let the Blackclaw push on its own. Like, come on, people.
Yeah, these are interesting macro decisions being made, as this is a poor mistake by Gwen, as she's going to just get deleted instantly. And that's, again, Sleep is going to land from Mini Mitra, and they're looking to try and take out this Alpha. Kroll's now here, and he's in his boot. He's going to get out of it, but he's slowed up, and he's going to go down great from Hell's Heart to secure that kill. Yeah.
No, so Valkyrie, they're playing this perfectly thus far. I mean, obviously, when you kind of are just left in a 3v5 with the Black Claw pushing your lane, you're pretty okay with that, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what? We'll take that fight. We'll just take down the rest of your members, take the Black Claw, and then turn around and take the Ghost Wing. So now they can push. They have the buff, and I'm looking to see what they do with this buff. How they try to use advantages, and they just decide to go home.
The problem Blue Oyster Bar had there is they took the Black Claw, then they were all rather low, so they were hesitating. What they should have been doing is, because they had such an advantage, only Devilicious left alive, should have been taking Black Claw and Ghost Wing at the same time, splitting those objectives and taking both to allow you to perfectly set up for a push with maximum advantage. If Devilicious then continues pushing while all of this is going on, he's not going to get much. He's a CP Vox. If it was maybe a split pushing Rona, you'd be worried.
Right,
but
so the
instead, we're
Drifting
gonna
Dart fight comes out. Yep, there's the Oblivion not landing onto anyone, but you have a couple of mortal wounds, and this is just so good from Mini Mitra just poking out, and the just basically death ball from Valkyrie is out. They're looking for picks. They're looking for fights. So many members of the Blue Oyster Bar are low. Now they're in between turns. Gotland comes out. This could be a problem depending on how the Blue Oyster Bar follows up, but they're not going to have much follow up at all. The best thing that they have is turret damage. Now another Drifting Dart from Mini Mitra, just applying mortal wounds with that newly buffed Spellfire. Now they can turn around, start to push a lane, but they didn't get anything out of that push, which I think is good for the Blue Oyster Bar.
Yeah, it's definitely good for the Blue Oyster Bar, and now Ghost Wing buff is gone. That was the play from Valkyrie, and in the end, they just sort of ended up rumbling forwards and then rumbling back again, and nothing really happened. And that's been the tale of this game in parts, is objectives have been taken, dragons have been taken, and then nothing taken from the dragon. And we see the kills happen, and they lead to a team taking a dragon. They make the right move, they make the right call, but then they don't use it properly as Vox is caught in top lane.
Yeah, Vox is caught out. He should be going down ever so shortly now. And oh wait, actually, Carnage, that was huge. The Aces High lands onto Carnage, and in the meanwhile, Atex should be able to take down Devilicious. There you go, Prime Directive just secures that one. Black Claw spawns in conveniently because Barster Club, if they can take this fight, they can win it. Oblivion lands, but it doesn't really do too much as everyone was just woken up immediately. Mini Mitra should be going down shortly. Carnage, he's just sitting in the back line. He thinks about going in, and then he just decides against it. All in the meanwhile, his teammates are dying. They're all dead.
He notices the lost cause and decides, I'm done with this fight. As Melina Katana looks like by some miracle she's going to get away, Carnage just going to be able to recall in a bush, and that's going to be the Black Claw started up. And I mean, it's obvious this is going on. They know this is going on, and they've got cams to see that it's going on, and it's going to go over. But then, what are they going to set up a push properly or not? Like, you've got plenty of members left alive. You got a 4 versus 3 now situation as Gauntlet's wasted again.
And that's gotta be the cam issue, right? Where you're just trying to put a cam over.
Yeah,
and then
which is a nightmare. I think the placement of those things may need to be adjusted. But okay, Alpha's porting back, and now that means you've got Black Claw in mid lane again with Moderate and Arden accompanying it. Like, this is not how you set up a push, Blue Oyster Bar, please. This is going to be the second Black Claw take you have, which is just going to get... This one's just going to get 1 turret. If that, I think it probably will due to the damage as Oblivion lands.
Yeah, no, so this actually could be an actual fight as Gersia, they finally have some teeth behind the Black Claw. And now this is a dive from Carnage, but he isn't able to find anything. Mini Mitra over the wall, landing some Empowered Malice and Verdicts. That's about the extent of the damage thus far. But this armory should be going down. At the very, very least, they do get the armory.
Very least an armory.
So it's better. It's definitely better.
Adex is going to die in the base, unfortunately for Adex. Poor Adex is dead. But they trade one guy. It's just one guy for an armory and a bit of damage on Vein Crystal, which will be healed back up in a sec. But finally, that's an effective push coming out. They just take a little bit of damage to their Vein Crystal, their armory turret at the top lane. But it's a positive gain, and that's what they need. They need to take these positive gains more often. And they've been doing well with these takes, and that take had more teeth, you're right. But that's what they need to be doing. And this game could have been over earlier, but it wasn't. If they'd been doing that behind their earlier pushes, if they just need to be setting up for the Dragons better. These teams, it's once you've got it, what you're going to do with it, you need a clear plan.
Yeah, no, you need to do something better than. So, I mean, obviously that was a decent push, but like next time you get Black Claw, you're going to get engaged upon. Period. Because the Black Claw, okay, fine, it does minimum damage because you know what, it's a Black Claw, right? It doesn't really help you too much in terms of actual like pushing power. It's just a big thing there. That's a giant meat shield that's eventually Valkyrie has to deal with. If you're Blue Oyster Bar, when you're pushing next time, you have to have all of your members
Great call.
there. Yeah, exactly. Great call. I do really like this ghost wing.
Yes,
Let's
but
take
then
it-
what are you going to do with it? Like, they need. So they've got it, and the wolves have been summoned, so they may not even have to decide because it looks like a fight's going to happen straight away anyway. As Garrett
so
goes in.
Garrett's went straight in. Gauntlet comes down.
Gauntlet
This is
just
just
stunned.
complete Kelly's. Oh, he's stunned out of. So now the problem is that Skull Hunter's in the backline. He's a Crow. He might be able to get the damage down onto this Gwen, but no! Holy crap! Gwen winning that somehow. Now Garrett's in the lane. He's winning this one going. He's literally just spitting on top of the Rona, and the Rona will go down. Devilicious is now dead. Mini Mitros. Yeah, he's the last person left alive. It's a 1v5. There's no way that he wins this. I know he's in the Drifting Dark.
He's got
like,
to kill.
No, wait.
He's got Drifting Dark like every 3 seconds. He's got another one up that he's
Holy
gonna
crap,
reverse
look
it.
at that damage from the Gwen. That's going to be it. That's GG, ace. And really, though, you just saw that Grstaigi, the Gwen, just basically turned it on there. It was just every single, somehow she managed to beat out the
crit.
Kroll.
It's the crit. This is what I'm talking about. If you get that tension bow proc and it crits, that is obscene damage. And this is why this sort of building a poison shiv on Gwen is a bit pointless. Because you have, what's that? But you have 3 other heroes you can build mortal wounds on. You don't need mortal wounds on your Gwen. Build that crit and do insane damage as he was doing. And that, in the end, it was just one dragon too many for Valkyrie. And even if Blue Oyster Bar were not executing the dragons well, they were wearing down Valkyrie with each dragon, eventually taking more and more and more. And of getting there in the end after Valkyrie take a rather ill-advised fight after that Ghost Wing was captured. That fight was really one you don't want to take. And this game, it really was Gristalgil on this Gwen who shone through. And Garrinx had a really good game as well. Some good split pushing on 1v1s with Carnage. And he did a great job of getting into the backline, staying alive and being a massive distraction in the team fights. But the shining star amongst all of that was definitely this Gwen.
Now, the Gwen did tons of work, and I really don't think that there was much better that the Blue Oyster Bar could have done once they finally got into these team fights. I think we've said this over and over again, which is, all right, okay, Blue Oyster Bar, they're kind of sloppy in the early game. They started to trade up kills, whatever. Or they did well, started to get traded. Started to look back and start to lose, and all of a sudden they flip a switch. All of a sudden they're gods.
Yeah, it's this team fighting phase for Blue Oyster Bar, and they are honestly incredibly good at executing these team fights. It's quite amazing. It's not their laning phase. This game was actually stronger than it was previously overall, and they do have flashes within that laning phase, but they're never winning it. They're just holding level. But once they get into these team fights, they're executing their team fight perfectly, and it is a joy to watch them execute these team fights so well and be so clear and precise. They just need to be a bit more confident, I feel. They're doing the right things. They just need to be more confident about doing them. None of that hesitating around in mid lane once they've taken the Ghost Wing. Taking the Ghost Wing and saying, we're going to that top lane, we're pushing top lane, and we are getting turrets.
Yeah, that is really what I want to see out of this next map is someone really like. I don't want to necessarily like punch Blue Oyster Bar in the teeth, but like really outplay them from a macro standpoint. Put them in a
Yeah.
position where they can't even take team fights because, oh my gosh, you took a team fight, great. You got a Joel off in the side lane and he's just taking every single one of your turns.
Yeah. I mean, we
Okay.
can't deny that Blue Oyster Bar's strategy of winning teamfights is effective. It's the move they could. The thing is, we want them to improve because they could be winning more team fights and they could be getting more from their team fight wins. In the actual team fights, their execution has been the best of any team we've seen so far. But it's the after the team fight bit which they need to improve on. And if other teams can best them in these team fights, as we've got Dream of Noobs coming in now, we've got Gunwoon Wug, which is honestly my favorite name to say. I have to admit it, Gunwoon Wug. Super Bobcat, Doppelgangren, Prometheus, which sounds like a bit of a play on Prometheus to me, and Jigo 6 Shoujo. I,
Sergio?
I Shoujo? Shoujo? I feel like I'm now just saying that character from the new Star Trek series. But anyway, we're now going to be looking to get into the game, and the thing which has been, I think, so influential for Blue Oyster Bar has been this Arden. And even though in that final team fight we saw him get stunned out of his gauntlet, which I want to say it's either great play from Valkyrie or a really lucky stun. Whoever did it is going to say it was the godliest play of their lives, and everyone and the side of Blue Oyster Bar are going to say, "Oh, that was just a lucky stun." But whatever it was, even without that gauntlet coming down, they're still able to win the fight because their execution throughout the rest of it was so brilliant. But this Arden pick has been so influential in all three games that they played, and they could be they're really close to completing a clean sweep of the King of the Hill, the final Guild Wars here. They're close to just winning it outright.
Yeah,
This
no,
final. So it'd be amazing if they've run Arden every single game so far, and I don't see any reason to stop because it's such a great pick. If we were having a draft and I was on a B side, I would be banning Arden because you don't want an A side to have it because it's such a good pick in 5v5. It's obscene.
no, Arden is definitely one of those priority picks. And I mean, if you talk about like literally any other character, it seems like they're all like flexible, right? So you have something that can replace them, except for not the Arden. The Arden is just
Arden is a key, in my opinion, a key part of any good 5v5 composition at the moment. He's just such an amazing pick, and you don't even have to be playing him as a roamer. You could shove him in the jungle, take him weapon power, take him CP. You could shove him in one of the lanes, throw down your gauntlet, and instead of just stunning people, you're also dealing 800 damage with it. So he's such an amazingly flexible pick, not only within his playstyle within a fight, but also within his build style and where you can play him. He's just too good at the moment, Arden. And I really want to see Dream of Noobs either do something to counter this Arden, because obviously now Lyra's not as viable of a counter as we saw in the first game for Promised Defiance. They need to either do something to counter this Arden, or just say, we can't beat Arden, so we're just going to take Arden.
See, here's the thought, right? If Arden just turns around fights, which
And they
both
take
these
it.
yeah, both teams do take Arden. If Arden just turns around fights, what if we like all play Arden? We just get like 5 Ardens on all teams. So therefore, we have an ability that turns around fights all the time.
That would be bogus matchups, but we have a lot of interesting double matchups here. This is I do like this. We've got double Gwen, we've got double Blackfeather, and we've got double Arden. So we've got a lot of mirror matchups, and in the end, it's actually going to be in the end those mirror matchups. Even that, I think they'll probably be played with a weapon power, a Gwen, and it's interesting. I would expect a weapon power Blackfeather personally. Over on the side of Blue Oyster. That's not Blue Oyster. My bad. That is Dream of Noobs. That's how I would expect them to be playing it with and it does. Looks like they are going to be going with the weapon alpha. I'm not as keen on this as it can suffer against a Krull. Without something like a Chillmore to back it up, it can work, but you need a poison shiv, and it's going to be a bit of time before you can get your poison shiv. But we've got some early action for once.
Yeah, we do finally.
Protheus, he's playing the Black Feather. I mean, he's playing up against Ninjas, so it's not like there's another Black Feather to hard counter him. There's 3 people here, and I don't mind this kind of push because if you look at it, it's actually really hard for the Blue Oyster Bar to try and counter this push.
It's so easy for them to counter it though, because all Addex needs to do is just go and take the enemy weapon power buff. Like, it's now spawned, and you're forcing them in a really awkward spot. Addex is just going to get this, and if a steal can come through on the CP buff, they're hesitating so long over taking it that means both weapon buffs are definitely going to be going over.
Alright, so who's going to get this crystal buff? And it goes over to someone who's got it. It's Arden got it. Alright,
So,
good job.
In the end, really not who you want to be picking that up. Modre does get forced back right at the start. I would have liked to see Modre starting up with a bit of defense. Personally, I feel like he's been pressured a lot in these early game lanes, and that hasn't been great for him. Although Addex is spotted, well, he's definitely spotted out. I mean, come on, you saw him doppelgram.
Yeah, there's no way that you didn't see him. Alright, so Addex got the healing train as well, so I mean, I don't think he wants to take this fight, because
No, he definitely doesn't. Well,
he's
he
going
does,
to get collapsed.
but he's going to get collapsed upon. He doesn't realize it yet. He does get the alpha into reboot, but he's not going to win a 2v1 fight at this stage in the game. Surely not. He has his flaws.
Oh, he can do it. He uses flash. Oh, holy crap! That's just so insane. ADX, what is he actually gonna win
It's
this?
weapon buff. It's the weapon buff. This weapon.
It is the weapon buff. You're
Oh,
exactly
he misses
correct.
the on point, but he looks like he may be picking up a kill here. Great play by Addex. Great
Okay,
play
so-
by Addex.
Addex officially MVP. Wow, that was ridiculous. So you steal the weapon buff, you steal the healing train, and then you get 2 kills on top of it in a 2 versus 1 situation. That is
a grim start for Dream of Noobs. Like, it really is. That is not what you would have wanted to happen at the start. You did manage to pick up that kill onto the Kroll though, and you did manage to pick up a kill onto the Arden, so it wasn't all in vain. But in the meantime, Gunwoon Wug did also go down on this Gwen. We've got this Gwen on Gwen matchup, and you've also got this Black Feather on Black Feather matchup. So mirror matchups across the board, as Addex has surely got to be caught out this time.
Yeah, maybe he's finally actually caught out, but I still don't know. He could maybe get a return kill. No, all right.
No, surely not. Surely not. Oh, if he was close to picking up a return kill there on Doppelgangering, like as Gwen goes down in the top lane.
Yeah, no, this is just so bad for a Dream of Noobs. Like, it's always like, okay, hey, good job, you finally killed the black. Oh, okay, your Gwen died on the other side of the map. Oh, hey, guess what? We got it. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, we got 2v1.
Yeah,
Like-
it's there's a positive instantly taken away by another negative so far for Noob Corporation. Not Dream of Noobs even. And that is not the greatest so far, as they are looking for this Black Feather is looking for an invade. No camps there. They're not going to be able to take anything. And Modre, meanwhile, has been putting some decent pressure down onto Super Bobcat in the mid lane, as Gunwoon Wug hasn't been having the effect he would have wanted in this Gwen versus Gwen matchup in the top lane. And Addex is also going to be going CP, as I think would be more obvious looking at the Blue Oyster Bar. But the thing is, he's going CP and he's got a lead, and I'm still not really sure who's jungling.
Oh, all right, so that is the sad state of affairs of the 5v5 Black Feather. Did you see that game from Protheus?
Yeah. He
So
comes in and he really can't do anything, and Addex has surely been caught out. He gets the weapon buff, so maybe he can do it once again. He is a lot
holy
lower
crap, look at
this
the
time.
damage! He's
Lot
got to
of
go into
damage from the
Protheus, so
endpoint.
one
No.
person... Yeah, no, okay. If you would have gotten most of his damage onto Protheus as opposed to Doppelgangering, then I think he would have actually had a
Yeah.
chance, but the problem is that Alpha, you don't have enough damage to get through a reboot, so she's just going to come back alive and survive through that. So now Barrister Club, they do have to take a couple of seconds, take a breather, and understand where they're at, right? Because I feel like, especially once Idris gets that crystal power buff, I feel like that Barrister Club has much better scaling.
Yeah, it's relatively similar scaling if you're looking at it, actually. Both teams have got a late game carry as Kroll gets a kill. Great work from Garance there, picking up that kill onto Celeste in the mid lane. That's going to allow Modre, who's already shopped actually, to put some good damage onto this mid lane turret, as Kroll also going in on it. This could be it going down to at least half health, possibly more. Yeah, it's great play from Blue Oyster Bar, as they're actually making something happen
Alright,
in
so
the early
top lane Gwen onto Black for the matchup. Black Feather easily winning that. So at the very least, if you're gonna trade, you're gonna trade a kill for some damage, and understand that I basically have a free kill on the Gwen. That's not bad. And then you go start to invade, take some healing camps. I mean, I do like this kind of return. Yes, you just kind of got punched in the teeth there by the invade push from Barrister Club, but at the very least, you're getting something in return. And I like to see this from teams, which is if okay, maybe you lose an objective or two, but see what you can trade. And New Corporation or
Dream of Noobs, we're both doing that now. We've casted too many games with Noob Corporation as
I know.
Addix does get popped in, does manage to pop out the reboot from Doppelgang Green. Now he is going to be caught out. The Kroll is here maybe to save him, but in the end just ends up killing him.
Yeah, I know.
That Prime Directive hit him, which is a real shame. Sad times.
That's
for
very
Addix.
sad times.
But he was before that happened. He was winning that lane matchup with Doppelgang Green, and it was strong stuff. And meanwhile, we do see the lane matchup being won by Grosstag in the top lane. As
Yeah, gone wrong. Oh, okay, that's an execution right there.
that is an execution right there by Grosstag onto Gunwoonwug. And Gunwoonwug, I don't like his build. He hasn't gone with this tension bow early, and that is just going to end up hurting him as he. Throughout this laning phase, he looks like he's going for a spell sword, and that's
Alright,
just
so
not the
here's
pick.
this Blackfeather. He's so close to getting a kill on Snoven. Solar Storm did land, so it has some damage. Garens isn't able to get anything in return, but this Blackfeather could just
Mordray.
do it. Protheus is just so close a lot of times, but he just never seems to be able to get just that decisive kill as he gets turned on by Kroll.
Yeah.
Oh, such a sad
In the end, he's only picking up the roam, and that's just not the trade he would have wanted. Grosstag is just dominating this top lane with its tension bow, able to pop heroes low, left and right. First turret goes down in the mid lane, and the kills are relatively even, but the matchups are slowly and surely being won by the side of Blue Oyster Bar across the map due to poor build decisions and poor macro decisions. As when Gunwoonwug ports back, picks up a spell sword, but it's too late. Like you've this tension bow has been doing a lot of damage, and your turret is low.
Yeah, no, especially getting that mid lane turret, I really think opens things up a lot for the Blue Oyster Bar, because now that you have that first mid lane turn open, you have better roaming potential. You can force the mid lane matchup to be on their side. Holy crap!
If the other Blackfeather wasn't there, but it does get rooted. But now Kroll's here. Kroll counters both of these heroes.
Yeah,
this could be dangerous.
Oh, okay, from Hell's Heart just being thrown straight onto Protheus, but now Garens has some problems. He has to deal with this Alpha, and no, that's going to be no problem at all whatsoever. Protheus decided to come back in just a little bit too late. Solar Storm from downtown completely misses, and that's going to be the cleanup here from the Blue Oyster Bar. Now they're just going to try and do what they can do best, as they're looking for objectives. Ghostagi found one top lane.
Yeah, Ghostagi finds one in the top lane simply due to the fact that Tension Bow on Gwen is very, very strong. Like, Gunwoonwug is very trying to contest this, and it has a lot of energy, but energy doesn't matter when you can't actually outdamage the person you're trying to trade with. He's camping in this bush here, maybe going to look for something, but you've got Mordray ahead in the mid lane as well, winning these damage trades with the Celeste quite comfortably. Overall, just across the map, it is now more firmly in Blue Oyster Bar's favor, as they're going to easily pick up the Ghostwing. Yeah, great play from Kroll.
Oh god, okay. Gwen finally, Gunwoonwug finally winning a lane matchup against her counterpart, or his counterpart to say. But Garens, see, that's the power of the Kroll right there, right? So you just kind of disappear, right? Like, oh my gosh, it's a jungler. Okay, we can't keep track of the jungler, whatever. But he's dealing with the objective by himself. He has the sustain, so he can just take it. You're not going to steal anything from him. Now, ADX, he's going to steal away the life of Alpha with literally a button press.
Literally a broad impression. Now you've got this exact mirror match situation, but you've got a Ghostwing buff on one person.
Yeah, ADX doesn't want to take this though. He doesn't want to take this at all. Gauntlet comes down, doesn't land, and you're playing against the Blackfeather. There's a Rose offensive in. Protheus isn't able to get too much damage. Just quickly on ADX. That was just stupid. That was disgusting. Get out of here. Leave. You've overstayed your welcome.
This dragon's eye doing work for ADX, really putting a lot of damage. Protheus has that aftershock, but it wasn't enough, and the Ghost Wing buff again proving massively influential, as it looks like it might be a CP buff tried to be picked up by Modre.
Yeah, that.
Oh, he's gonna get it.
Yeah, all right. Okay, cool. There you go.
Kroll going to be picking up this weapon power buff, and now when you're in the situation where you're consistently losing your own buff, you know things are not going well if you're the side of Dream of Noobs, and things really aren't going well. You're 7k gold behind, and Blue Oyster Bar are firmly in control of this one.
So now officially for at least what I would say for Dream of Noobs, your goal has to be get control of your own jungle back. You have to start putting down vision, do something from Hell's Heart. Is not a great start to that. Oh, Alpha didn't even have a reboot up. That's brutal. So
Fountain was used as well. Great goal on that.
Yeah, no, that was a great gauntlet. That should guarantee a kill into Madre. Now Garrett's trying to dive in. Protheus just going to get deleted. Wait, maybe not. No, he's somehow still alive. Gun Wong Woon will actually die though. So now we're just watching Dream of Noobs. Yeah, no, we're watching Dream of Noobs. Just like they're like, oh my gosh, we can do something in return. We got it, guys. I told you, we can believe. And then they just like individually just die one by one.
Yeah, sad times for Dream of Noobs as they're trying to bait Super Bobcat forward. Super Bobcat's been playing this nice and safe most of the time, but a good split push coming out from Blue Oyster Bar. And this is something I feel like they've been lacking slightly in the other 3 games, is this excellent split pushing in the mid game. But they're firmly in control. They feel really comfortable going for these plays as Alpha easily gets taken out, stun onto Gun Woonwug as well.
Yeah, no, this is not looking good at all for Dream of Noobs. Look at this damage.
He's got 25 breaking point stacks. That's it. It takes is these 25 breaking point stacks, and then suddenly Kroll is an utter beast. Gauntlet comes out as well.
This is ridiculous. Yeah, no, Gun Woonwug can't really do anything. He's gonna get dove over from across the wall. Now ADX chasing down the Celeste. There's nothing you can do. It's a 2 versus 1. Yes, you have turns, but like, what the frick, ADX? How are you not dead?
ADX just surviving their Prime Directive lands onto him though. Maybe this could be the kill going over.
Yeah, but I don't really see it. This is a 1v4. Like it doesn't matter how low your opponents are. This is still a 1v4. Now, if she can land a ridiculous, okay, no, not even close.
Not even close for that Prime Directive. As Modre meanwhile pushing up the mid lane, and it's just all over. Like the bot lane isn't particularly pushing. Actually, they've got a massive wave pushing onto this turret, and it looks like it will get it. But that's 1 turret. Yeah, that's your first turret.
Congratulations! Oh no! Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The push from Blue Oyster Bar was so bad that, or was so good that it basically meant that Dream of Noobs was able to build up 2 captain meters. That's how good the push was from Blue Oyster Bar. And so because the push was so good, it just let Dream of Noobs just accidentally get a turret there because it just built up a minion wave that was just so brutal.
But that's the thing, it's just 1 minion wave, and you're seeing Protheus trying with these deep invades, but 1 deep invade isn't going to win you anything, and Garance is now lurking around this Ghost Wing. I feel like he's looking for that play onto it again, just looking to solo that out. He notices the cams on it though, so he's not going to be going for that instantly as Protheus ports back. But they're in control of the enemy jungle so absolutely at the moment. And now they're making another one of these macro calls. And they're very good at making the initial take on the dragon, Blue Oyster Bar. They're very good at saying, yeah, we should go for this dragon. And this game, they have been executing when they have got that dragon really, really well with the first dragon.
And they've also been executing really well into this alpha as Prime Direct, or excuse me, that's going to be the reboot and not even going to have the chance. You just got blue screened of death. Sorry, Alpha, you're dead.
Yeah, and now it looks like it's going to be Arden following. He's got the turret, but it's just not enough in the face of ADX's overwhelming damage.
Gunwong actually has a return kill, but then wait, this core collapse doesn't land, and
Gauntlet does get a stun.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone expected the gauntlet to hit because Celeste was well out of the gauntlet range.
So Celeste was out of the gauntlet, goes back in to try and land a Heliogenesis. In the end, that end up killing her as ADX gets stunned out. He could be going down here. Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
Meanwhile, though, like you got Modre just calmly pushing up this bot lane. They're down to just 2 turrets now. One in the mid lane and one in the bot lane, and you've got an exposed armory on the side of Dream of Noobs. And also, you've got this Ghost Wing very open to be taken. They can just put Krull on it, put someone in each lane, and then it's not immediately obvious that Krull is doing it because you just think, oh, he might just be farming. But the thing is, because it's any other jungler, he wouldn't be able to just solo it. But it's Krull. He has incredible sustain. He can just sit there on an objective and AFK take it. That's just how strong of a hero he is right now. And this Krull is fed, and a fed Krull is a nightmare to deal with.
So here's what I have to ask though is that really for Dream of Noobs, is there really any sort of power spike that they should be looking to take advantage of? I mean, I'm personally looking, and if I were to say, I'd want to try and get like an Echo onto Jiroku.
Adix just doesn't even go down there. Like he eventually does, and it does look like there is gonna finally be an escape coming out from Protheus.
Great block onto the core collapse. No, Super Bobcat just dead. Dead.
Modre picking up a nice double. Well, it wasn't a double, but it basically was.
Okay,
Krull,
this is a 14,000 gold lead. I have actually never seen a gold lead this high.
yeah,
I'm not
Krull
even
getting
kidding.
one stun. Garant just waits a sec, charges back up his perk, then goes back in onto Gunwound Work. This is brutal. Now Idris is here as well. The collapse is ridiculous. There's minions on the armory. There's minions everywhere. Well, actually, there's minions taking the mid lane turret and that's now 2 turrets, which side of Dream of Noobs have picked up. And if this poor wave management keeps happening from the side of Blue Oyster Bar, it may at one point become dangerous. But
Alright,
it's
so
unlikely.
Okay, so that fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That is just complete shame for Blue Oyster Bar. Now, at the very okay, no, never mind. This is a fight that they want to take, maybe.
Well, it's a fight they want to take because they're so fed and they do so much damage.
Exactly, that's exactly. They want to take every fight right now. Doppelganger. Just going to die now. That is actually returned now. Protheus can turn this around, but look at the damage Ace's High does land. That could be huge. As you said, max range. Ghost Wing has officially been taken by the Blue Oyster Bar, but this is just going to be a turnaround, an absolute slaughter. Solar Storm was good, but you need more than that. Super Bobcat going to get a sword straight to the heart, and now, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's brutal stuff to watch for Blue Oyster Bar because they're not actually closing out the game, and they're just going to pick up another kill onto Protheus here, and that might allow.
Take the armor, please. Like, do something.
They're hesitating about it. They definitely want to go with it though, as Grostage block.
Okay, good block.
Easy kill.
Yeah, no, easy kill. So, Blackwing is officially being started up. Yeah, and that will go down. And there's no way that this is contested. Wait, Celeste, Solar Storm, Celeste, do it across the map. Oh, okay.
No, it's not going to happen. And meanwhile, you've got this Gwen in a fight down in the bot lane. Again, going to be easily. It's just advantages all across the map for the side of Blue Oyster Bar, and all they need to do now is just group in mid and push with this. And they do have a Celeste, which is going to be an issue. I mean, they don't even need to group in mid. They could just go to the top lane because the top lane has an armory exposed. So
bottom lane does as well. I mean, really, this is just basically where does the Blue Oyster Bar want to push, and they just want to push this mid lane. They know they're stronger. Jiroku, he had forced to use a fountain before his death, maybe. Oh no, he's able to survive that somehow. And now this is actually a decent push or assault from Dream of Noobs. Yeah, but I still don't see any way that this doesn't end in a GG.
Oh, good Solar Storm. Good Solar Storm.
Actually, wait, actually,
from the Sanctuary. Oh, good block on the From Hell's Heart as Modre does manage a decent bit of damage. Uses the reflex block as well. Gonna be a great play from him.
Yeah, no, that's not bad at all. Gunwong, he's
that's
thinking.
Game.
Yeah, that's game. He can think as much as he wants. He gets to think about why that game failed as miserably as it did. So 16-38. And a 17,000 gold lead.
With so many mirror matchups, it's surprising and honestly quite damning onto the side of Dream of Noobs. We've had 3, in all honesty, very close games with Blue Oyster Bar, in which their team fighting phase is what won it out and won the game for them. This game wasn't close. and by any stretch of the imagination, this game was nowhere near close. A 16k gold lead, every single turret down. Gross Stars, like each person on the side of Blue Oyster Bar had 12k gold. No one on the side of Dream of Noobs had 12k gold. No one. That is just how far ahead they were, and they just kept They got kills in the early game. They got advantages in their lanes, and then they pushed those advantages in their lanes. And each advantage just built up and up and up into a snowball that just kept rolling and just crushed the noobs underneath it.
I mean, it really was. They really were the noobs. I hate to say it and make that joke, but like it was not a good
It
look.
didn't. It didn't. It didn't look. It didn't look like an even match, and that is definitely very well done on the side of Blue Oyster Bar to make it not look even. There's some confusing build decisions coming out from Dream of Noobs, such as Gunwag not picking up a tension bow, Doppelganger not picking up a spell sword on your weapon alpha. That's generally pretty accepted as being the right way to build it. But other than that, there's not too much weird stuff going on. It's just those little advantages, and it was just really well executed from start to finish by Blue Oyster Bar, and giving up 16 kills in a 5v5 game isn't bad. It was honestly superb play, and they didn't even need the team fighting, which made them so amazing through the first 3 games this game, because there was never going to be a team fight when someone gets deleted in 3 shots by your Gwen at the start.
Basically. So I think we're going to have to start to wrap this one up. Thank you guys very much for coming to the Guild Wars Blue Oyster Bar, running the gauntlet successfully. How many times has this happened now?
Yeah, it honestly seems that if a team gets on a roll in some of these events, they really can be on a roll. The mental state of these teams, once they get a couple of wins under their belt, it really seems to be very strong, as we saw into that in that final game, as Blue Oyster Bar closed out dominantly, and it was honestly throughout great games to watch, amazing games to cast, and what a fantastic event it was.
No, it was a fantastic event. Thank you very much, Krista or Little D, for hosting this one for us. And this 360 is going around. I think I'm going to have to say goodbye for now.
Thank you so much, 360. I always love you and Pirate casting together. It sounds so magical. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a good night. Pirate, do you have anything else to say? Ooh, tell everyone about your podcast before you go.
Okay, so Tree and I actually have a podcast together. It's called the Warhorn Podcast, and from it, we aim to, when the VG competitive scene eventually gets going, we aim to make it a more esports oriented podcast. But for the moment, we've just been talking about 5v5 and what's been happening within the meta. And for our next video, which we're going to be recording on Saturday, we're going to talk about, and we're going to come up with hero tier lists for each of the lanes, each of the roles in 5v5, what's currently strong in update 3.0 at this current point in time.
Okay. Oh, you're still here. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to add on to that and say that we are actually going to be available on YouTube and SoundCloud. So do look us up. We are officially the Warhorn Podcast on either of those. If Chris, if you could put a link in the Twitch, you already did it. Thank you very much. That's great.
You are welcome. I will remember to put the link in your when I shout you out, I will put the link in that as well. So if you have not listened to the Warhorn podcast or you haven't subscribed, go ahead and go and do that. They're really good, and they come out, I think, like every Friday, right?
Yeah, we aim to record one a week. We haven't got
Yeah.
a set day on which we're due to both having pretty busy schedules.
Okay, one a week.
It's also really weird, right? Because I have to I'm in NA. When he
Yeah.
goes to bed,
That is quite
I'm
a
waking
hard.
up.
It's quite a hard time. It's hard to manage the time scale, but that makes it difficult to record one episode a week. But recording one episode a week is the way we want to continue, and hopefully we can gain viewership and keep recording content which people like and enjoy listening to.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next episode, the hero tier list. I want to know which heroes I need to be practicing. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming. This is like the final Guild Wars events for this month at least. I don't know when I'll be doing them next month since I want to take a little break. I want to get into actually playing Vainglory, practice, and get a little bit better. I'm terrible at the moment since I don't really play that much. I just host these events, so that's why I'm taking the break. If you have a guild, you know a guild who wants to join the next series of Guild Wars, just hit me up on Discord and let me know. I'll put them in my little spreadsheet and get them in when we're ready. But thank you guys all for coming, and go say hi to Minimiter. Bye bye.